Yeah, no doubt about that. Let's talk about Lara Nikoloski, the great article in the West Australian, really promoting state league in this state. Local tennis is on the rise, there's no question about that. Lara Nikoloski, what can you tell us about Lauren? She is a prodigious talent. She's had great results nationally, and she's just turned 18, so she's looking to take that next step in her development, certainly in her professional career. What can you tell us a little bit about Lara Nikoloski today?
Yeah, Lauren is one of the bright young talents in WA female tennis. So she's always been one of the top juniors in Australia. 2 years ago, she made the final of the under-16 Australian Nationals at Melbourne Park, where she played Talia Gibson. She's been part of Western Australian national winning teams. She's known for incredible work ethic. She's won awards for her amazing work ethic, and she's a role model for our younger generation. She was a finalist at the Tennis West Awards night recently for all her great results from the last 2 years. So she is one of the premier players in the whole of state league, and really a role model for our program.
Number one player for Cottesloe, of course, and comes into this match in really good form. She's had a couple of very difficult losses against two of the best players in WA, one being Talia Gibson. That was an absolute blockbuster, and the other one was Lily Fairclough, a great left-hander from Hensman Park. The Cottesloe team today, Lauren Nikoloski playing at one, Xinyi, Lara, Tovich and Libby Mussared. I mean, that's a team of youth and experience, and they're coming up against a really youthful, not a youthful, more experienced side in Alexander Park. And if we look at their listing, we've got Sheridan, Currie at one. Obviously, Peyton, Duckett will be in there as well. We've got Katy O'Shea, as you mentioned before. We've got S.Watson, and we've got Talia, Edgar. I mean, this is a great team, and it's going to be very evenly matched today.
Yeah, really, I think evenly matched. It could come down to the doubles today. The pivotal doubles points is always exciting, but it's really a must-win round for both teams to get their team back into the competition. They've had some narrow losses coming in, so it's a really important day for both teams to get back up there in the winners' circle. As we know, winning's contagious, and once you get in a run, you can't stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing at Alexander Park in the leafy suburb of Manor. If you want to come down, call in, say hello. The bar is always open, and the crowd here is building just very, very nicely. But before we get into a little bit more about the matches, just take us on the journey around these beautiful tennis shirts that we're wearing at the moment. These represent something significant in Tennis West, and they were given to us by KC Sports, so Jeff King and the crew out there at KC Sports. What can you tell us about these shirts?
You're exactly right, Brett. These shirts are very special that we're wearing today. So shout out to KC Sports, to Sam King and Jeff King. They've done a wonderful job on these designs. So it's really a cultural piece for our National Academy here in Western Australia. So we went to KC Sports and we said, you know, can you put together some great designs with a few special features? And they came back with 5 different designs, and we sent them out to all of the players in our squads. And this was the design they came up with. So it's very special because it has the black and yellow for Western Australia. It also has the black swan on it, which you can see here on the right. It also has the initials of Kent Yamazaki here, KY, on the left sleeve. Which is a tribute to his hard work and a role model of our program. So all the players in the squads, we want them to really feel part of the same team. We're all unified, all representing Western Australia, hashtag West is best. And also all the staff wear them as well. So it's really special to be wearing them today. And yeah, big shout out to KC Sports and yourself, Brett, and Tennis West, for helping with the financial assistance to get these shirts, and the kids absolutely love them, and we've had some incredible feedback, and they basically never take them off.
They do. It looks absolutely splendid out there at the State Tennis Centre. Every day the kids are on court with a sea of yellow and black, and it does build that cultural piece, and the kids absolutely love it. I think we handed out about 80-odd or so shirts to the kids in the High Performance Academy, and they are absolutely relishing being seen in their state shirts. Today's match, again, beautiful conditions here at Alexander Park. There's not a lot of breeze around. If we look around the grounds, you know, we're not seeing too much flapping of the breeze. So we're expecting a very clean day today. And that on grass, we've seen the last couple of broadcasts have been on hard court. But what are we going to expect on the grass courts today?
Yes, good point, Brett. Perfect conditions today, so expecting some really good clean tennis, and it's really exciting to be here at one of the clubs that still uses natural grass for their state league competition, and that's what WA is so well known for is their incredible clubs and the natural grass. So I think you'll see from some of the more experienced players, I think you will see some serve volley. I think you'll see some chip and charges. I think the slice backhand will be used a lot, and I think that will be a really interesting contrast for these younger players like Peyton, Duckett and Talia, Edgar and Lara, Tovich and Lara, Nikoloski, that they really are predominantly aggressive baseliners, and they'll stay on the baseline and try and out-hit and rally from the back, but these other girls will be coming forward. So I'm really excited to see that contrast in style on the natural grass courts.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we made mention at the top of the broadcast some of the experience that have come into today's matchup for Alexander Park. Sheridan, Currie playing up the order, and Katy O'Shea. This will be Katy's first effort in singles today. And both of them are very experienced players, have won a number of state league titles over the years for different clubs, find themselves at Alexander Park this year. And it's a wonderful club, and it's got a great reputation here at Alexander Park. They've got both the men's and women's state league teams. The club gets right behind all the players here, and what an environment to be playing in.
Oh, it's one of the favourite clubs, Brett. They get really great crowds, even when Alexander Park plays their state league games at other clubs. All the spectators, the groupies, so to speak, all come and watch. So they really do a great job here. The bar's open, the canteen's open. As you said before, absolutely huge crowd already, and we haven't even started. But as you said, really excited to see Sheridan and Katy today. You know, big names in WA tennis. Katy is a past MVP of State League. She was a under-16 national Australian champion. So it's really wonderful to see them back playing State League, and that is really great for those younger girls just to be mentored by them. And, you know, on the change of ends, they can have chats to them, they can talk tactics, they train together during the week. So really excited for today and the great atmosphere.
Yeah, no question about that. Yeah, words from Tom George. We're also going to be joined by World over 55 double silver medalist Shane Smedley later in the broadcast to give us his thoughts around today's play. Of course, we're going to keep you updated with all the other state league matches that are being played right around the clubs in Perth. And the first up match, the format for today is the number 2 and number 4 singles are first up, and that is followed by the number 1 players and the number 3 players, and that culminates in 2 doubles to close out the day. Best of 6 ties. First team to get to 4 ties wins the day. If they get to 3 ties, it goes down to sets, and then if it's equal on sets, Tommy, it goes down to games. So these 2 teams still looking for their very first win. Round 5 of the WA Women's State League competition. Exciting matchup here, and we see Peyton Duckett closest to the camera in the white shirt from Alexander Park, and Xinyi from the Tennis Club furthest from the camera. What can you tell us about Peyton? I mean, there's been a lot written about Peyton. She was also part of the article online with the West Australian on Friday afternoon. What can you tell us about Peyton and her development over the last couple of years?
So Peyton Duckett is in career best form at the moment. She just finished playing the Platinum AMT at the State Tennis Centre, which is the highest level adult money tournament there is in Western Australia. And she had a terrific run where she went all the way to the final. She had some really impressive wins along the way where she beat some of the top seeds. She had a career win against Xenia Vujicic in the semis there, which she won in a close match, and she lost to Lily Fairclough in the final, but what an effort for her to make the final of that Platinum AMT. In State League, she's had some incredible wins so far this season. She beat Gail Leong, she beat Samvi Tak, so she's just completely full of confidence at the moment. She was the winner of the Karen Buchan's Award, the Tennis West Awards night, for her great attitude. She'll chase down every ball. She gives 100% effort. You can see there that good close-up vision. She's just changed recently to those Yonex rackets, so she's really happy with that change. She's just got a bit more power with that Yonex frame. She's changed strings and the tension a little bit. Her dad, Stephen, really likes to get involved there and make sure she's maximising her talent. So it's just wonderful to see such a nice young girl performing so well.
Peyton Duckett, closest to the camera from Alexander Park Tennis Club. You spoke about the change of equipment there using the Yonex racket now. I mean, what does the equipment give the players? Does it give them a little bit of extra pop on the ball? And particularly the strings, the new branding of strings. I mean, once upon a time, the wooden rackets, the graphite rackets and the old catgut strings don't give you the same power. They certainly didn't give you the same ability to be able to take big cuts at the ball, big swings at the ball and have that ball dip down into court like they do nowadays. What's the significance in the change in the way the athletes are now playing because of the technology change, Tom?
Yeah, it really is an interesting topic in modern tennis because coach, and we always talk about those little changes and those little things that can add a bit to everyone's game. But with a different racket or different string tension, you can make a huge difference in your game. Peyton's rackets are strung by Hanru Fore. He's one of the top stringers in the state, and he is very pedantic and specific with Peyton's rackets. He makes sure that they're all balanced, they weigh exactly the same, that all the string tension's the same, and he always talks about, look, if Peyton picks up her racket at 5-all on the tie-break and she's broken a string, that next racket has to be identical to the other racket. So it really makes a big difference. Personally, I've always just grown up using Babolat pure drives and putting in big banger and stringing them at 55 and trying to serve big and hit big forehands, but that's all changed. Every player is incredibly specific and unique with what they want. But you'll see a lot of these Yonex and Babolat rackets, and we were so used to natural gut, but it's still used on tour a little bit in combination with some of the other softer strings.
First 4 matches, Peyton has played first 4 rounds. First round she lost against Astrid Cantor from Kings Park Tennis Club. Then she had a win in the second and third against, as you made mention, Gay Leong and Tak, and then did lose a very tough match against Lily Fairclough. So comes into this 5th round, 2 wins and 2 losses in her singles. And if we look at the other end of the court with Zheng from Cottesloe, I mean, she started the season on a really good note, defeating young Ruby Broadbent in 10-5 and a super tiebreaker in the 3rd set. But unfortunately, she came up against some pretty hot players in the last 3 rounds. Tommy lost to Anya Duckett from Hensman Park. Obviously, Megan Kaufman and Tak in straight sets last week. So Zheng looking for her first win here, or certainly her first win in the last 3 ties. And, what does she have to do against Peyton Duckett to ensure that she's in a pretty good position by the end of the match?
Yes, some quality opponents she's played there so far this season, and when you play at the number 2 position, it just shows the strength of the competition. So she'll have to come forward, she'll have to use a lot of variety. She really can't let Peyton get in her rhythm or groove because she's so solid from the back of the court. So I think the start of this match is incredibly pivotal, that I think we'll see their tactics come out to play in the first 3-4 games, and it's really important, as you said, with those couple of losses, to get off to a great start with some great footwork and then really try and get one up on Peyton to start, so she's got some confidence herself. But I think variety is the key for her today.
We've just switched across to court number 2 here at Alexander Park. Talia Edgar closest to the camera for Alexander Park, coming up against Libby Mussared, more senior, more experienced, bit of a journeywoman in the state league ranks from Cottesloe. Talia Edgar, great young talent, no question about that. You can see her hitting here with the white shirt and the bright yellow racket. What can you tell us about Talia Edgar's form?
Yes, another player that we're incredibly proud of at the State Tennis Centre. So Talia is coached by Peter Schoolgate, the father of Tristan Schoolgate. He's done a wonderful job in her development, and it's really exciting to see her playing state league now. At the Applecross Awards night recently, we gave out a huge trophy there that was a prestigious award for tennis and academics, and she was the inaugural winner of that last year. So she's a very bright girl, does very well at school, trains very hard, and she's on the weekend when she's not studying or playing tennis, she's going on huge runs and doing triathlons, and incredibly fit. She's more of a counterpuncher game style. She's starting to work with Pete and with us at the tennis centre and putting a bit more weight on her ground strokes. But she is a great young girl, great role model for all the young juniors coming through, and I'm really excited to see her play some top quality tennis today.
And at the further end of the court, serving, it's still in the warm-up stages. All players get 5 minutes warm-up before they commence. We see Libby Mussared lost round 3 and round 4. Last week she had a very heartbreaking loss, 10-4 in the super tiebreaker in that 3rd set. So she comes into this match in pretty good form. Again, as an experienced campaigner, Libby Mussared has the experience on grass. Cottesloe Tennis Club is predominantly all grass, so it's got great experience on grass. This is going to be a very exciting and a very balanced match, I would imagine, today.
I think so. I think you'll see that grass grass court awareness and craftiness really come out today. So exciting to see that. I think we'll see the slice backhand a lot. I think we'll see her come forward a lot against Talia. And yeah, as you said, that added benefit of playing at Cottesloe, so she'll would have played a lot of hours there on the natural grass court. So she'll be well and truly ready for this against Talia, who hasn't played that much on the grass court recently.
Yeah, it is a different game style, no question about that. Gone are the days where we used to see a lot of serve and volleying. Grass court does suit the serve and volley because the grass does keep the ball low, it does skid through, it's a quicker surface than it is on hard courts. Do you think there's still room in the game, professional game, for serve and volley? Because even at the world level, men's and women's, we don't see too much serve and volleying.
Very rare. It's great to see Lily Fairclough the other day adding in some serve volley, and that boys doubles match last week, Austin Voss and Ethan Cook, they were swarming the net and you could see how effective it is. But I think the days of the true serve and volleyers are predominantly gone. I think you really see those aggressive baseliners and counter punches, and with the technology there, it's just too easy now with the players to just hit those passing shots. So it is difficult, but I think when you're playing on grass, it still is a big advantage. It's what Australian tennis is known for. We do like to serve volley and come forward, and our greats of the Rafters and the Pat Cashes, and would love to see, you know, a few players come through like that. And just talking about the grass courts, these grass courts are in pristine condition. I feel like we're sitting here looking out at Wimbledon, just absolutely immaculate.
I can tell you Alexander Park has hosted WA Opens back in the 90s, and the likes of players of Mark Villapousis and Pat Rafter have participated in those events here at Alexander Park. So it's a world-class venue. It's got some of the best grass courts you'll find anywhere in the world. It's an award-winning club. It did win the award for the best club at the John Newcombe medal only a few seasons ago, and it's won a couple of WA clubs of the year. So it's a wonderful club, wonderful tradition, great membership base. So anyone keen to come on down and watch the Women's State League, come on down to Manoora, Alexander Park, situated right in the heart of Manoora. As we switch across to see Zheng serving furthest from the camera for Cottesloe up against Peyton Duckett.
A great serve, and that's where you see the effects of the natural grass, that serve really skidding through and staying low. So Peyton will really have to get a bit lower there on a return of serve position and try and counteract those low slice serves.
Started off very aggressively, Zheng. I did like that serve down the tee, just forcing Peyton to move to the right, and then the big backhand down the line. Yeah, beautiful play. I mean, that's grass court at its finest. That chip slice down the backhand, just opening up the forehand wing, and a nice backhand volley. I thought the technique probably a little bit loose, but she made the high backhand volley, which is a pretty tricky shot.
What a point. Great start there. You're right, Brett. That previous point, loved that slice forehand deep into the corner, forcing Peyton to hit up for that volley. And yeah, it didn't look like a traditional backhand volley technique, but it paid off and she hit a great shot.
Yeah, brilliant start. First service game, Zheng for Cottesloe, as they change ends. But I did like that. I mean, she was quite aggressive. She was looking to take this short ball and move forward. And she understands that you need to be moving forward. You need to be aggressive, certainly on grass courts, to give yourself a better opportunity. Because if your opponent can hit past you all day on grass with the ball sliding through, then more kudos to them. But you want to make sure that you're closing in on the net, closing down the angles, and taking the aggression to your opponent.
That's exactly right, Brett. And that was a great 1-2 punch here from Xinyi. Great serve and big booming forehand to win the point. Great camera view here of Katy and Peyton having a quick chat and getting a fist pump as Peyton goes out, changing the scoreboard. That's one of the wonderful things about State League. You get these senior players like Katy there working with some of our top juniors and talking her through the match. And they're building those wonderful relationships, and that's what it's all about. I've got very fond memories as a kid growing up in Canberra with Steve Maloney and Anthony Barker and these players mentoring me at a young age in our equivalent. So it's wonderful to see Katy out there working with Peyton.
Nervy start for young Peyton Duckett. First double fault. This is a big occasion for Peyton, playing in front of the home crowd. Get the first win on the board at the park, up against Zheng, who's an experienced campaigner. There's no question about that. But just take a little while to get her tempo.
Great serve there from Peyton, free point there. So something really interesting to watch today is Peyton is her energy levels, because she's had such a big couple of weeks making the final of that platinum. So there's no doubt she will, even though she is supremely fit, she'll come into this match a little bit fatigued. So we'll see how she goes to start off the match.
Beautiful off backhand, I mean, she is hitting the ball extremely well, and as you made mention, she made the final of the Platinum AMT only a matter of 2 days ago, and that doesn't seem to have affected her on that backhand. If anything, she would have had herself into form. Is there a big gap between moving from hard court to grass court?
Oh, that just hits the net cord and just misses wide. Great point. Saw Peyton at her best. Really change of direction, hitting it deep. Bit of variety there with the slice. Yes, yeah, clearly a big difference there with hard courts and grass court, but I think the transition's not too bad there. I think she'll have good rhythm there, and yeah, you said play herself into great form, so very confident after that great run to the final, so I think she'll be okay here. Saw they had a good thorough warm-up this morning here on the grass, so she should be ready to go. Another good serve and a comfortable service game held to 15, so 1-1 to start this number 2 singles match.
Of course, all matches are played best of 3 sets, with the third set being a super tiebreaker, which is first to 10 points. And that just gives the players, because it's a long day for the players, Tommy George, making that third set a super tiebreaker, first to 10. First season we've introduced this for the whole season as a competition. I think it's been working really well in the first 5 rounds. Beautiful swinging serve by Zheng. She loves to play the angles. We see that she's a great competitor. She won't go away, and she knows how to play on grass. I mean, she's been playing at Cottesloe Tennis Club for the last couple of years, predominantly all grass, hitting on grass a lot out there during their pennant practice or league practice. Yeah, so she's got a clear game plan today.
Yes, Peyton will have to probably move forward a little bit on that first serve return and try and cut that off. Move forward and across before it swings away. Second serve. Just clipped the tape there, unlucky. Just a little bit late on the preparation there, Peyton. At the start of the match, we got the new balls and on the grass, just shooting through. So just needed to get a little bit lower and just a bit earlier with her forehand preparation there. See on Peyton's forehand, her left hand holds the strings in the preparation, which is a bit unorthodox. But you see a couple of players, but very rare to see that. Usually the player has their left hand on the throat of the racket, but she actually literally holds the strings.
Certainly keep a close eye on that preparation, a little bit unusual. Seems to be very effective for Peyton. Zheng serving, Cottesloe closer to the camera. And again, we're seeing the ball slide through. I mean, these are true grass courts. Beautiful bounce. They almost play like a hard court. And they have done for 20, 30 years. But you've got to get that racket back nice and early, because the ball still will skid through. The ball, when it's fresh and when it's new, it's still very compact, so it does have the tendency to hit the grass and skid through. So she's got to start working on getting that racket back a little bit earlier.
That's right. I think at the start of the match with the fresh balls, we will see some shorter points, and as they fluff up a bit, I think we'll see the rallies extended.
Just overplaying that backhand return. Nice holder serve from Zheng. She currently leads 2 games to 1 against Peyton Duckett, the number 2 singles. As we skip across, Libby Mussared serving from Cottesloe, closest to the camera, all blue. currently trailing by 2 games to love. Dropped her opening serve against Talia Edgar. You see there the ball just keeping low. Just catching Libby off balance a little bit. She forced that back into the top of the net. Talia's game, will we see her being really aggressive on the forehand wing with the big serve, the 1-2 punch that a lot of the athletes, certainly the junior athletes, like to work with?
But yeah, we'll see Talia. She's very solid off both wings, but something she has been working on is going for a shot. So I think we will see her be quite aggressive today. Over to Peyton.
Just forcing that backhand wide, but we're starting to see the game plan. Zheng from Cottesloe. She likes to work Peyton from corner to corner, just opening up those lines, particularly on that backhand wing. It seems to be her favourite shot, but she's missed it on a couple of occasions, but she's going after it. She'll start to hit herself into some form, Zheng from Cottesloe.
Just wide there. It's a great improvement Peyton's made with her game. It's just getting a bit more pop on her first serves. They're starting to get a few more free points, and I think that's one of numerous reasons why she's been doing so well recently. But you're right, Brett. Good to see that intention from Xinyi early going for her shots. Another free point there from Peyton.
Again, the ball just skidding through. Put the chalk on the line to your grass. If the ball does hit the chalk, it does sort of stop and hold up a little bit, as opposed to the grass where it just skids through. Couple of nice deep first serves there from Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, I should say Peyton Duckett.
One of my favourite players.
One of your NFL players, Peyton Manning.
I still think Tom Brady's the GOAT, but I am a fan of the Manning brothers.
Broad segue, 2 games apiece here between Zheng and Peyton Duckett. Cottesloe versus Alexander Park, both clubs vying for their first win in the Women's State League competition this season. Good pace off that first serve, came through from Zheng. Does like to go after that backhand, Zheng, but has overplayed on the last 2 or 3 occasions, hitting that court. What would you be saying to her at the change of ends? Just to slow the tempo down a little bit, just find a rhythm?
Good serve there from Xinyi, just wide from Peyton. I do like the intention where she's going for her shots. I think that's a key feature that she needs to do today to be aggressive and keep Peyton off balance. My only advice, if I was out there for change of ends, would just be to watch her margins. Still go for her shots, but just doesn't have to really hit the sidelines there. She's just missing wide, so still be aggressive, but just go into bigger spaces and bigger areas, because I think with the new balls and the natural grass, the court will do the work for you. No need to thread the needle and hit a centimetre from the sideline.
I think your advice there, Tommy George, has paid off. She did look to hit the balls with some margin. Still working the angles, moving Peyton from side to side. Of course, the voice of Tommy George, Genesis Australia's High Performance Academy Manager. My name is Brett Patten, bringing you the broadcast right across today's play. Serve just a little long. We'll be keeping you updated with all the other men's and women's state league results as the day unfolds.
That one really skidded through, so good sliding serve that came back into Peyton's body. I'm a big fan on natural grass of the body serve. I know you love the body serve in your day, coming forward there, but I think that's a serve that's underrated and underplayed, especially on natural grass.
What are you complaining about?
Just pushing that forehand a little long. You're right, Tommy George, that for those people tuning in, the body serve is really just aiming, if you're a right-hander, you want to aim the ball at the right hip of a right-hander. If they're a left-hander, it's at the left hip. Just really jams them up, and they have to have good footwork to get out of that body serve way. So many people are worried about pushing away from your opponent as opposed to really just using that body serve to greater effect. A deep serve. Near the crowd, starting to build here, getting behind the hometown girl in Peyton Duckett, up against Zheng from Cottesloe. Currently the score is 2 games apiece in the opposing court. Talia Edgar up against Libby Mussared. Talia currently leading 2 games to 1. Swinging serve. A little wide.
Just unforced error there from Peyton, so she'll be very displeased with herself there. Normally makes that ball. Yeah, just going back to Xinyi's second serve there, so she predominantly uses the sliding serve. I haven't seen her use her kick serve yet, so I think Peyton should be weary and ready for sliders throughout this match. It looks like every second serve is a slider into the body or just wide there. So another good service game there from Xinyi. So all holes have served so far. 3-2 Cottesloe at the number 2 singles match. Over to Talia Edgar.
Serving closest to the camera. Currently leading by 2 games to 1. Nice early break. Talia Edgar, one of the rising stars in WA tennis. S.Watson is sitting courtside. Steph Alexander Park for the first time alongside her sister Maddie. Now the niece of the great Liz Smiley. Wonderful talent produced in Western Australia. Gone on to win Wimbledon and a number of other Grand Slam mixed and doubles titles. Change up again. Yeah, wonderful play there by Talia. Just had Libby moving forward. And again, when you're predominantly a baseline player, that transition to move into the net always seems to be a little bit problematic if you're not used to moving forward. Tommy, you can get to the net and volley, you can start at the back of the court and hit the ground strokes, but that transition always tends to catch some of the athletes who aren't used to being natural serve or natural aggressive players moving forward.
Yeah. That's exactly right, and that's why we want to encourage our young juniors to keep practicing long-term development, keep coming forward and practice in all-court games. Really important that looking at when they're in their mid-20s and the average age of a top 100 players, 27 on our circuit. So, yeah, keep going to your shots coming forward as we go back over to the number 2 singles match.
Peyton Duckett serving, Alexander Park. Yeah, beautiful aggressive play. Got the short ball, moved forward, opened up the court, out to that forehand wing and just closed him with a nice high forehand volley from Zheng. I mean, smart play again. Really shows her experience on grass courts and isn't afraid to move forward. Certainly in the first 6 games of this first set has been the more aggressive play.
Been very impressed from Xinyi's start here, doing everything right, and that was a wonderful point. Just wide there, catching that a little bit late, back to 15 all.
I noticed that she was really moving forward. She was on the baseline, tried to be aggressive, take the serve early, but caught that ball a little bit late and just pushed it wide. I'd like to see, particularly with new balls, just stand back a little bit and move into the court so it gives herself a little bit more time, particularly on the return of serve from Zheng.
I completely agree. Just getting rushed a little bit there. So Peyton's getting a lot of free points off her first serve. So I think Xinyi needs to make that adjustment and just come back a couple of feet, give herself a bit more time.
Beautiful deep hitting by both girls on that occasion, just catching Zheng on the back foot as that beautiful forehand deep delivered by Peyton. Peyton's certainly just finding a groove. I mean, she's had a big couple of weeks, certainly playing tournaments and finding herself in the final of that Platinum against Lily Fairclough on Friday. So, again, the transition from hard to grass, she's just finding her rhythm.
Another good point there from Xinyi. You're exactly right, Brett. That last point, Peyton did a good job of turning that defense into offense. She was running around the back of the court and that great deep ball, the whole point and momentum shift.
Beautiful conditions out here. Not a drop of air on these centre courts at Alexander Park. Forecast need to be 30 degrees today. A little bit short of that at the moment. Duckett serving. Just changing ball toss. A little long. Double fault. A couple of double faults so far in this early stages of the first set. Do you think the sun would be making an issue? Certainly at that furthest from the camera end of the court, looking straight directly up into the sun, that would have some issue, or certainly would be the issue with her.
Yes.
Double faulting from that end of the court, I should say, Tom.
Yes, you're right, Brett, that it looked like that ball toss probably should have just let it drop and redo it again because it was just out of position. The contact point wasn't right, but a loose point there from Peyton. So Xinyi with the break of serve, 4-2 up. She's off to an absolute flyer here. She'll be very happy with this start. First break of serve of the match.
Seems like Zheng's got her blocks a lot quicker than Peyton. Again, matches are best of 3 sets. Third set decided by a super tiebreak at first at 10 points. Zheng serving, Cottesloe closest to the camera. Currently leading 4 games to 2. Well, both girls getting serving yips. The 7th game of this first set. I mean, the all-important first set, just for momentum, really critical that both girls get off to a good start. And Xinyi has certainly been the aggressor and has got off to a flyer. Pushing the serve long. Lovely rally from the back of the court. Both girls, to your point earlier, made earlier in the broadcast, just got to look margins. Don't try to hit on the lines or just inside the lines. Give yourself a little bit more margin. Get into a rhythm, and we saw that from Peyton on that occasion. Just wanted to keep the ball live, keep the ball rallying, and the unforced error coming by Zheng.
Great solid point there from Peyton. Good footwork. She's getting a little bit lower there. Good depth on her shots. Just constructing the point really well. So that was. She's got a good opportunity here at Love 30.
Oh, just pushing that wide, Tommy George, but a good hustle, good thinking by Zheng. Just dropping that ball short. And that's a smart play on grass. You get an opportunity to just do the drop shot. We don't see too many drop shots nowadays, particularly because a lot of tournaments and matches are played on hard court where the ball bounces a lot higher. But on grass, it's a really effective strategy.
Yes, very effective strategy on natural grass. Keeps nice and low. Too good.
Well constructed. Tommy George just opened up the court again. Down Love 30. 2 very solid points from Zheng. Finds herself back at 30 all. It's a pivotal match in this first set. Holds here, goes up 5-2. Gives herself a little bit of breathing room.
Stayed in the absolute obvious. You wouldn't want to go down 5 games to 2. Could kiss the set goodbye. So important Peyton wins this game to give herself a chance to get back into it. Just wide there. So just a little mini opportunity slip a little bit from Love 30. So now Xinyi got game point at 40-30, playing some very good tennis.
Come on, Peyton. Here we go, mate. Yes, T.
Oh, too good. That's just a really good, solid point. So Zheng having a lot of success with that backhand down the line, opening up the court and finish it off with a big, powerful forehand. So 5-2 to Cottesloe there in that number 2 ladies singles match.
I was watching Peyton move to change events. We skip across to number 2, Talia Edgar, furthest from the camera, up against Libby Mussared from Cottesloe. Yeah, lovely backhand, really just having Edgar stretch, just couldn't produce the high backhand volley with the volleys. The athletes. The high volley seems to be the most problematic for athletes. Why do you think that's the case?
I think it's just a strength issue with some of the younger athletes, just when it's above the shoulder there, so you predominantly just like it nice and tucked in. I always find the low volleys difficult because I'm tall and try and get down, but a lot of the young juniors struggle with that one, and obviously the higher on the backhand side, but one of the toughest shots in tennis, the backhand smash. Oh, had the opening there's the right shot, just the execution. Talia's off to an absolute flyer in this singles match, playing some very impressive tennis. Good to see her coming forward, and as we see her coach, Peter Schoolgate, walk into Alexander Park to watch his young protege in action here in State League.
Edgar currently leading 4 games to 1 for Alexander Park, the white shirt furthest from the camera. Good day here at Alexander Park. Change of pace there, try to drop the second hand off the two-hander, slice it a little bit long. Ahead of her, Mussared serving, Cottesloe. Had the opportunity, nice slice down the line, good lob. Talia, opportunity to hit the overhead, caught the top of the frame. I mean, what would your advice be? Because she hit the overhead and then ran directly to the baseline. Would you like to see her stay up at the net, be a little bit more aggressive?
Yes, I do like after the smash, make the big physical effort to come back in and close the net. Move over to Peyton Duckett, serving at 2 games to 5 against Xinyi Zheng. Just wide there. Yeah, so no, Talia, I think I'd like to the smash and straight back into it. I think, especially on grass court, just once you're anywhere near the net, keep closing. Another free point there off Peyton's first serve. So 30 love.
Peyton originally owned a tennis down East Fremantle Tennis Club. Prize recruits for Alexander Park this year.
Just out of position there. Just needed to get in behind the ball.
Peyton Duckett just taking some time, preparing herself, trailing 2 games to 5. Overplaying that forehand a little long. Match is about 39 minutes old. Beautiful play, Zheng. Just capitalised on the short ball. Very aggressive from the back of the court. Moved forward and hit the off forehand down to the backhand wing of Duckett for the outright winner. Playing the better tennis in the early stages of this match. Again, it's best for 3 sets. Third set, super tiebreaker, first to 10 points. Zheng currently leading 5 games to 2. It's Peyton Duckett from Alexander Park. Overplaying, saw the opportunity just to jump on that short forehand. Ball jumped up around shoulder high and just couldn't control it across court, pushing it a fraction wide. Like the aggressiveness of Zheng from Cottesloe. Just really keeping Peyton Duckett on the back foot, guessing at every opportunity. Beautiful deep forehand. Again from Zheng. Not afraid to go after her strokes from the back of the court, and it's probably hitting with a little bit more pace than Duckett at the moment.
Yeah, really paying off for the aggressive play. I think Peyton will probably have to turn the tables and just be a little bit more aggressive herself and not let Xinyi dictate these rallies from the back of the court. Great point there from Peyton. Good solid play. Made the most of the short ball there with a great deep forehand in the corner. So better tennis there from, so everyone affectionately calls her Ducky.
Mighty Ducks, one of the great movies, Disney, all time. Tommy George, one of your favourites, no doubt.
It sure was when they did the flying V formation. Just short there, so good point to Peyton there.
I like the idea of that, just throwing a different look in for Duckett. Zheng just trying to bring her opponent closer to the net. A little drop shot, didn't execute on that occasion. Getting updated with some of the state league results from around the other grounds. On the completion of this first set between Zheng and Duckett.
Yeah, it's a really good point there from Peyton. Constructed the point really well, working Xinyi side to side, and good finish there with the great off forehand. So crowd went absolutely wild there. They loved that point there from Peyton Duckett, the local hero at the club here. Good tennis there. So Xinyi, pressure back on her here. So serve out the set at 5-3.
Some of the matches being played around the grounds in the Women's State League. Greenwood up against Peppermint Grove and Kings Park up against Henswood Park. We'll give you some updates after the first set. Big first serve. Nice way to get off the mark, serving for a set. That was the body serve too, into the right hip. Really jammed up Peyton Duckett on that occasion.
Yeah, when you're serving out the set, that first point's always pivotal. So 15 love, Xinyi. Very good first serve there. It's a loose mistake there on that backhand. So good solid return from Peyton. Back to 15-all.
I do like the fact that Xinyi went after that backhand though.
Yes.
She wasn't going to hold back. She's got the assertive position. She's in front on the scoreboard. Again, just a little bit of anxiety trying to close out this first set. All important first set against the highly fancied Peyton Duckett. Zheng just really snatching at that backhand, just didn't allow herself to settle over the ball. It just seemed to be rushed.
Yes, definitely. A little bit rushed there, just a little bit off balance when she made contact there.
Oh, catching the top of the net. You can see Peyton a little bit unhappy. She had the ball in her sights, but that ball just dropped a little bit too short for her to be able to run down. 30 all, a very pivotal point here.
Yes, biggest moment of the match so far, no doubt about it.
Playing again on that backhand wing. Had the opportunity to get herself a first set point. Playing the backhand, just a ball and a half wide of the single sideline. Breakback point for Duckett.
Would have liked to see Xinyi stay at the net after that slice forehand. She would have had an easy volley, but just retreated and got stuck. Break point.
Break back, and you can see what that meant to Duckett, clenching the fist, getting that all-important break back to go 5-4. Chance to serve to go 5 games apiece. Zheng would be very disappointed with the way she served that particular game out, given that she's been so rock solid on her serve this set.
That's right. She first time she's lost her serve all match, so she'll be very disappointed there. Had her opportunities. As we see Greg Hutchinson having a chat with young Peyton Duckett there on the sideline as he's taking Katy O'Shea's spot there.
Greg Hutchinson is Tennis Australia board member, also a former president of Alexander Park Tennis Club and part of the club captain for the State League. I'll give you some updates from around the ground, some of the other results being played at the moment. Kings Park up against Hensman Park, and Astrid Cantor has claimed the very first win. As we cut across, it looks like a small injury here to Libby Mussared.
Yeah, it looks like Libby's in a lot of pain here. She's just gone down, so just...
Looks like she's grabbing at that right knee, which does seem to give her all sorts of problems. The right man for the job is Greg Hutchinson. He's moving across to support Libby. He's a physiotherapist by trade, so he's the right man to be supporting, as the umpire's also coming out to attend to Libby. We hope this is not too serious. She does seem to be in a somewhat of significant distress.
Yes, we hope she's okay, because, yeah, she does look to be in a lot of pain there.
The umpire's going across. I will give her the obligatory 3 minutes injury time once the assessment has been made. Let's hope it's just a bit of a stinger and she can get back up. But the way she's grabbed at it, and she does look in some distress, is very unfortunate for Libby Mussared and the Cottesloe Tennis Club team. It's the first injury we've encountered throughout the first 5 rounds. Just her right foot seemed to go from under her when she was running to a deep backhand. There's Sheridan, Currie, Zheng, Lara, Nikoloski all get around her. Great concern being shown for the captain of the Women's State League side for Cottesloe. Trying to get her to her feet. It doesn't look like she'll be able to continue the match by the look of things. Very proppy on that right knee. Very unfortunate for Libby Mussared. As you can see, can't put any pressure on that right leg. Certainly not a good sign.
No, not a good sign.
I wish Libby all the very best, and hopefully she's for a speedy recovery. Very unfortunate series of events out here for Cottesloe in the early stages of the tie with Alexander Park. And this year, she's just considered shaking the hands of Talia. She recognises that the knee is just too troublesome to continue. And hopefully she can get the right treatment on that, get some ice and elevation. Very unfortunate for the Cottesloe Tennis Club. It was a very competitive first set, starting the second set between Talia Edgar from Alexander Park and Libby Mussared. She's all smiles as she's coming off, so she doesn't seem to be in pain, but clearly there is a real significant structural issue with that knee.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers there with Libby. That's not what you want to see. It seems to be more upbeat coming off there, so hopefully she's okay and she gets some good care and gets back on the court in the next few weeks. But unfortunate incident there. We'll go back to the number 2 singles match. Peyton Duckett serving at 4-5.
We'll keep the viewers updated with that injury concern for the captain of the Cottesloe Women's State League side, Libby Mussared. That right knee, she's getting it tended to at the moment. We'll keep you across all the details of today's play, not just here at Alexander Park, but right across the other State League results. Being played at Royal Kings Park with the women's and Greenwood. Very unfortunate series of events. And that goes down to whether there is a 5th player here on site for Cottesloe to fill in for the doubles for Libby.
Yes.
It's very unfortunate if they don't have a 5th player. Meanwhile, back at the tennis, we see Zheng currently leading 5 games to 4.
Just catching the tape there from Xinyi. So 30 love to the duck. Second serve.
Going after that forehand down the line, just catching the top of the tape, Zheng. Moments away from being back on serve. Peyton Duckett was trailing 5 games to 2. Great opportunities for Zheng to close out this first set. Finds herself now back on serve, really battling this latter stages of the very first set between Alexander Park and Cottesloe. Must-win match, given that we've just seen the injury and the forfeit from the Cottesloe State League captain, Libby Mussared. Pushing that forehand wide, and you can hear the excitement from Peyton Duckett. Just the big come on. Back to 5 games apiece. Latter stages of this opening set. It is a must-win set for both young ladies to assert some ascendancy here. Zheng serving closer to the camera, all blue from Cottesloe Tennis Club. And again, we'll keep you across the injury concerns of Libby Mussared. Only moments ago, you would have seen go down, clutching that right knee, having to forfeit her singles against Talia Edgar. Ball skidding through, shooting through on that back end wing. Just starting to unsettle a little bit, Zheng, in a commanding position only 15 minutes or so ago. Now serving to force this set into a tiebreaker almost.
Huge change of momentum from 5-2 to 5-all. So Peyton, even though it's 5-all, seems well on top here. Just wide.
Opportunity there to go up a nice early lead in this game. Now it's back on 15-all. Beautiful down the line forehand. Peyton Duckett really starting to put the pressure on Zheng. As I grabbed Greg Hudson, you were first onto the site there with that injury for Libby Mussared. What was the assessment of her right knee?
Well, it's always hard with knees in the first instance, but she heard something go on the lateral side of the knee, so most likely she's torn a lateral collateral ligament.
And what does that look like for the rest of the day? I mean, she clearly can't get back out on court today. And is it a 2, 3, 4 month process?
Well, no, shouldn't be that long. Shouldn't be that long. It's often something that takes 3 to 6 weeks, depending on the severity of the injury. And if it's just lateral collateral in isolation, it's not as bad as other ligaments around the knee.
Wonderful point. Peyton Duckett back of the court, really dictating against Zheng, putting the pressure on. Just hearing from Greg Hudson, not only is the Tennis Australia board member, physiotherapist and first onto the scene. What would be the treatment for Libby right now? Just a bit of ice and elevation?
We'll ice it, elevate it, and keep compression bandage on it for a little while. And then have a reassess a little bit later. But she'll need to get it assessed properly tomorrow. So she's a little bit concerned, obviously, but I think it reasonably quickly if it's just the lateral in isolation.
The words of Greg Hudson. We're going to have a chat to Greg a little bit later in the broadcast, talk about all things tennis, given that you are a board member of Tennis Australia. We'll might grab you between the first and second singles. As we see the change of ends, young ladies, you heard from Greg Hudson. Looks like the prognosis is probably 3 or 6 weeks, so does need to get that assessed. Greg is a very experienced, well-renowned physiotherapist around WA. And we're seeing the girls changing ends here, sitting down, 6 games to 5 in favour of Peyton Duckett.
Wonderful insight there from Greg, true professional. So encouraging news there for Libby. If it's only a few weeks out, then she'll find her way back into State League, hopefully in the near future. So
yeah, she's a great tennis person, Libby Mussared. We certainly wish her a speedy recovery. Don't want to see her out of the game for too much longer. She's the captain of the Cottesloe Women's State League team, instrumental, and a great figurehead around the Cottesloe Tennis Club. So we don't like to see anyone go down with any type of injuries, but they are a part of sport, Tommy George. Unfortunately, we did see Libby twist that knee today and has to forfeit her singles, and depending on whether Cottesloe have a 5th member listed for today's play, they may well have to forfeit that doubles that Libby was going to take part in. So I certainly hope that's not the case.
You're right, Brett. Injury is part of the game. I think I'm yet to know a tennis player who hasn't had an injury at some point in their career. So it's just how you manage it and move on. And yeah, it's unfortunate. So Peyton's done a really great job here in this match from 2-5 to find herself 6-5 up, serving for the first set. So let's see if she can keep the momentum going here. Home crowd up and about, really getting behind her here.
Closer to the camera, Duckett, Alexander Park, serving 6 games to 5. Can't serve long. Overplaying right in front of the commentary booth there, that backhand forcing wide by a fair margin. Anything technically around that backhand that you would like to tighten up a little bit, Tommy?
Yeah, it just looks a little bit off balance there, just over-rotated a fraction, hence why it missed well out to the right there. So just get in behind the ball, balance there, and then you still want that body weight and momentum forward, but just over-rotated and missed well wide.
Serve a little long.
Good technique there on the serve, as we see the good camera shot there.
Nice deep reply from Zheng. Finds himself up above 30 against the serving Duck. Both girls struggling to close out this first set on serve. I mean, what goes through the athlete's mind? Particularly, they seem to, if it's a 2-1 or a 3-2 or a 4-3 service game, no problems. But when they have to serve the set out, Tommy George, what's going through an athlete's head?
Yeah, it's the mind games, isn't it? I think it's the first time they start to think about the finish line, finishing off the first set and second serve here, and it's amazing the power of the mind. Just in the net there. But yeah, just coming back to the mental side of the game, that's where you want to see Peyton, and just take her time, go through her routines, just go back to the basics. And she's been serving very well. She only lost her serve once in this set, so she's been doing a good job there. So she's back to 15-30 here. So just 1 point at a time. Don't think about the result of the set or the match.
And Zheng, she must be a little bit frustrated with being so far ahead in this set and letting it slide. She really needs to dig in here. Beautiful forehand down the line, giving Zheng 2 break-back point opportunities to force this into a first set tiebreaker. But gee whiz, clean hitting from both girls from the back of the court, Tommy G.
Shot of the day. What an incredible forehand there. You know it's a good shot when the crowd's silent, when they're home ground. It's what a cracking shot there. That will really lift her here.
Wonderful point. Great court movement from Duckett. You can hear the strain of her moving around the court. Gee whiz, she ran down every ball there and made Zheng play that extra ball, and another ball, and force the error.
That's right. That's when you know the duck is up and about and serious, when she's grunting and going around and being physical and getting her feet going. So good job there to stay in that point. Did very well because she was down and out of that point, but just hustled and got the ball back and found herself still in the game.
Back point still. Saved one more to come. Well, first serve let. Wide, just pushed it. Fraction wide. Second serve. Opportunity went begging again. You can see what that meant to Zheng. She just turns her back on the net. Chance to push it into a tiebreaker. Better tennis right now being played by young Duckett. She is certainly counter-punching, getting every ball back, not letting her opponent get too many unforced errors from her side of the court, Tommy.
Good solid point there from Peyton. There's a big argument, not an argument, a debate in tennis at those pivotal stages. Should you really go for it and pull the trigger or just be solid? I'm in favour of sort of Novak Djokovic and these figures and Simona Halep, where they're just incredibly solid at those crucial stages and make their opponent come up with the big winner. Peyton did a great job there to bring it back to juice.
Oh, wow. Spraying, yeah. I mean, it was a lovely backhand off backhand return by Zheng. Gives herself another opportunity to break back.
Just what we were talking about. Yeah, that was not the right shot there. She had a lot of success being solid there, so she'll learn from that. See how she goes here.
Hitting from Duckett again. You made mention she was a little bit more aggressive, you know, into the teeth of the wind here. It's just pushing that ball wide. Zheng again, she's had many opportunities. One to close the set out, but two to get back on parity here. She must be starting to get a little bit frustrated, Zheng from Cottesloe. Overplaying that backhand, just looking. Certainly a foot and a half beyond the baseline. Set point for Duckett, the first set point of this match. Great fighting spirit by the young Alexander Park charger. And there it is, overplaying that forehand. Zheng again, just turning it back on the net. Must be incredibly frustrated, but gee whiz, what great fighting spirit for Duckett. Down 5-2, but winning that first set 7-5, Tommy George.
Yes, great effort there from Peyton Duckett from 2-5 to win the set 7-5. So 5 games on the trot. So we really saw her fighting qualities there and staying in the match there with some good tennis and solid play, and did a great job there as Greg Hutchison comes out to give her a high five and say well done there. So a huge momentum shift there, and Peyton did very well to come out on top in that set. So the home club and the home team very happy with that first set result. So we move on over to
court number 2. It looks like it's recommencing. Katy O'Shea from Alexander Park, furthest from the camera. veteran journeywoman in the Women's State League, has won a number of state leagues for a number of clubs. City Beach was a powerhouse in Women's State League a number of years ago, and Katy was very instrumental in the wins. And also she's coming up against Lara Tovich closer to the camera from Cottesloe Tennis Club, all blue. Love to see the team outfits. The club's very proud with their logos. And this is going to be an interesting match between Katy O'Shea and Lara Tovich. Again, experience versus youth. Katy hasn't played too many singles matches over recent times, but she's an incredible ball striker, Katy O'Shea. Just has a knack of knowing how to play the game and how to win, more to the point.
That's right. Natural talent, great ball striker, Katy O'Shea, so she'll be very aggressive. She'll come forward. She's won a couple MVPs in State League, one of the big names in WA tennis. So contrasting styles, where Lara Tovich is one of the younger generation and up and comers. So this will be a really, really interesting match here today.
We're going to try and grab Libby Mussared to have a quick chat to see how that injury's looking. I might just grab her. Well, she's looking to the umpire at the moment. We'll see how she's going in a moment's time. Ensure that the knee is getting attended to and treated. You certainly don't like to see athletes go down with injuries, George. I mean, what's some of the significant injuries that you've seen over your time with athletes on the court?
Yeah, very common in tennis, stress fractures in the back. It seems to be the most common one when people change technique on their serve, and that seems to be the one I've come across a lot. But yeah, I've seen it all in tennis. It's a very cool game, and you've got to be in peak condition. But it's always little niggles here and there. I think most of the professional players are always playing with some little niggle along the way. You see Nadal and Novak, they always seem tacked up, and they're always playing with something.
Beautiful day out here at Alexander Park Tennis Club in the leafy suburb of Manoora. First set by way of Peyton and Duckett against Zheng. Second match commencing. Lara Tovich serving closest to the camera. Cottesloe against Katy O'Shea. Again, you can see the ball striking abilities for Katy O'Shea. The ball floating away on the forehand wing. Katy just leaned in on that. Just a pure ball striker.
Yes, pure ball striker, former national champion, one of the top juniors in Australian tennis. So it'd be a pleasure to watch her in action today. I think we'll see some pure shots, and she's got all the talent in the world.
What does Lara Tovich need to be working on and concentrating on against the experienced Katy O'Shea, Tommy George?
I think just mix it up as much as possible, and really doesn't want to get in those big baseline displays with Katy. So I think she'll try and mix it up as much as possible. As we see, an incredible winner there, the pure ball striking ability of Katy O'Shea. There's the crowds going wild there in the background.
As we're just making our way over to talk to Libby Mussared, the captain of the Cottesloe Women's State League. We saw a nasty fall out there, Libby, and you clutched at your right knee. What actually did you feel at the time?
Something, snap. Yep. Up my leg, so.
We saw Greg Hutchison first onto the scene there. So I'm an experienced physiotherapist. It looks like you're treating it right, but he was sort of thinking that maybe a 3 to 6 week injury. We wouldn't know. You need to get it assessed, but you know, what does that look like for the team? Have you got a fifth player here to play today?
We hope so. We hope one's on a desperate call out, but give it 30 minutes and we'll let you know.
It's a real shame. The match was really closely balanced. First set, nice first set. You were playing incredibly well, and I thought, you know, Talia just had the bigger point opportunities at the right time, or came up with the bigger opportunities at the right time. I mean, how would you assess your form? Are you in any mind to talk about your match?
I'm coming back from a wrist injury, so try not to be too hard on myself, but just very, very keen to keep playing in tennis, and this is not wanted.
Just wide there from Xinyi. It's great to hear from Libby there. So Peyton continues her good form there. A great start as it gives a fist pump to Greg Hutchison there.
Good to hear directly from Libby on that occasion. She's clearly in some distress. She's got ice on the knee. It is elevated and it is compressed. I hope it's not as bad as it potentially could be. Just heard her coming back from a recent wrist injury and back out on court playing some really good tennis against Talia, Edgar, and unfortunately, knee came from underneath her. Finds herself out for the rest of the day. Nice deep return and a nice early break there from Katy O'Shea.
Yeah, it's a good start there from Katy. 1-love up. You saw the pure ball strike in there with that huge booming forehand winner. So off to a good start there. 7-5, 1-love to Peyton Duckett. She's really continued that momentum there with 6 games on the trot.
Nice of Libby to make time with us. It's not easy to talk under duress.
No, that is very, very nice. Commentated an interview there, and yeah, wish her well, and hopefully we'll be back commentating one of her matches very, very soon.
Absolutely. Again, instrumental captain, great captain for Cottesloe Women's State League and for Cottesloe Tennis Club. Spiritual leader out here at Cottesloe, and certainly see if the Cottesloe team can rally around Libby. And Zheng right now had an opportunity to close out that first set. Now finds herself down a set and a break. Take a little bit of time, a little bit of readjusting to do, I would suspect, from Zheng. A little bit of frustration going through her mind at the moment.
Yeah, she really just needs to reset here and get her teeth back into this match, because she could find herself in a lot of trouble very quickly unless she gets on the scoreboard early in the second set.
Playing that forehand long, again catching a little late. She's trying to be the aggressor. She's moving into the court to take that second serve off young Peyton Duckett, but again just catching that forehand a little bit too far behind her body, forcing it wide.
Yeah, just have to change up her return of serve position a little bit and just give Peyton something different to look at. Double fault there, just that ball toss, just a little bit wayward there. Just like to see Peyton take her time there between first and second serves, just a little bit rushed.
Yeah, the crowd just elevating for the big forehand cross court of Katy O'Shea off camera. She is a crowd favourite. Wherever she goes, she grabs a big chunk of fans. I'd love to come and watch Katy. Beautiful forehand down the line again. Short ball, pounced all over that Zheng. A couple other results from around the grounds. Greenwood Tennis Club up against Peppermint Grove. Peppermint Grove currently leading 1-rubber to love. Talia Gibson defeated Natasha Kamapesky 6-1, 6-2. Ruby Broadbent from Peppermint Grove currently leading Sanvi Tak 6-3, 4-1. Makassar from Greenwood currently leading Gail Long 5-4. And Emma Black from Peppermint Grove currently leading Maria Belkasova 6-2, 5-2. So everything's pointing the way of Peppermint Grove in the early stages of this match against Greenwood.
Another missed return there.
Overplaying that forehand. Royal Kings Park and Hensman Park. Hensman Park undefeated so far in the first 4 rounds of this season. It's a bit of a result here that we're a little bit confused. Now Astrid Canther, captain of Kings Park, defeated
Senya Vujicic.
No score's been recorded, so we're hoping that's not anything untoward as far as illness or injury. And Sally Partington from Kings Park's currently leading Hume 4 games to 1. Bring you the rest of the women's scores across the day. We keep focused on Peyton Duckett against Zheng.
It's a bit off balance there. She had this little slice forehand there. Maddie Ebden calls the can opener there. Trying to spin the forehand wide there. So Xinyi still
Shout out to Maddie Ebden too. He helped us with the ANZ Racket Roadshow Friday morning at the Subiaco Primary School. 500 students. We gave out 100 rackets. Interviewed Maddie on stage. Kids asked him questions. Beautiful, aggressive play from Zheng. She's really started to step her game up. And this is the form that she showed in the early stages of that first set. She really just started to be a little bit more aggressive. I think she got a little bit more reserved at later parts of that first set. Now she's down a break. Now she needs to take it up to Duckett, and she's doing so.
Yeah, great point there. That was the type of point that saw her get off to a good lead in the first set. A little bit close to her body there. Just like to see Xinyi give herself a little bit more room. Yeah, Maddie Ebden is really fantastic doing all those activities there. He's like the last couple of weeks, he signed all the balls for the Super 10s kids. He took photos with them. He spent a lot of time with them, and then they're out at the schools, and all the kids love it. So thank you very much to Maddie. He's a great role model for all our WA juniors.
Beautiful forehand down the line. You hear the crowd really appreciating just opening up the wings, pushing the ball nice and deep. Yeah, Maddie Ebden, former top 50 player in the world, made the Australian Open semi-finals, made a final of the Australian Open mixed doubles with Sam Stoner this year, former Australian Open US mixed champion. Quarterfinals of the US Open doubles, a matter of months or so ago. Beautiful cross court and the fist pump to boot from young Peyton Duckett, just starting to lift under some pressure there from Zheng. I mean, gee whiz, she stepped it up in the last minute and a half, hasn't she?
Yeah, what a cracking shot. I think that's a shot of the day, that running forehand. Crowd went bananas there. So growing in confidence, young Ducky there, 7-5-2 love up, and what a shot that was.
Beautiful swinging serve from Zheng. She's gone to the well a bit today with that swinging serve to great success. I'd like to see her follow some of those serves in, particularly the sliding serve out to that forehand wing, just come in and close the net out, give herself an opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive. Again, overplaying that backhand. You spoke to the margins earlier in the match. Again, that's probably not the right shot to be playing at that time. Really running wide of the tram lines and trying to force into a metre and a half in the opponent's court, Tommy.
Yeah, it's not the right shot there. Just, yeah, would like to see her bring it in a little bit. And as you mentioned, come forward. That was giving her a lot of success early in the match, but she stopped doing it. Just a loose mistake there. She's just pressing a little bit now. Like to see her just open up her shoulders and just really go for it here and try something different.
She's down a set and a break. Now's the time to change the game style around. Nice serve, flat, deep into the backhand wing of Duckett, who couldn't return.
If they can, they don't have to. Most times they don't. No, but what I'm saying is the combination.
Almost perfect conditions out here at Alexander Park today. Temperature around 26, 27 degrees. Not a drop of breeze, even from both ends of the courts, Tommy G.
Perfect conditions down here at Alexander Park. See spectators having a drink and having a toasted sandwich.
Playing again, just getting a little bit ahead of herself, Zheng, trying to go for too much. I mean, you spoke about the mind of the player. She feels like she has to overplay to win points against young Peyton Duckett, because Duckett's movement around the court as a counterpuncher has been terrific. So that's just playing into the mind of Zheng at the moment.
No, you're exactly right there, Brett, because Peyton's been moving so well around the court. Xinyi's feeling like she has to press and just really hit the lines there. So just that's one of the benefits there of chasing down every ball and just making your opponent hit that extra shot. You might end up winning some points later on in the match as your opponent really presses, which Xinyi's currently doing. So anyway, she'll have a chance now to reflect and try and see if she can get back into it.
Currently trailing by a set and 3 games to love it. Witnessing the injury of her captain at Cottesloe with Libby Mussared, I mean, that also must be playing on your minds. Hard to sort of get yourself back into the zone when you know that your captain and potentially your 4th player is down with an injury.
Definitely. She'll be very concerned about her good friend and captain, and it'll be very hard to concentrate on the match while you have that deep concern for one of your teammates. She'll just have to try and refocus and concentrate on her tennis and know her teammates, you know, in good hands, being well looked after, and she can chat to her after the match. We turn our attention to the number 3 match here, Katy O'Shea serving.
Back to a quick start, 3 games to love against Lara Tovic. Just pushing that wide. Great ball striker, Katy O'Shea. I think the heaviness of the ball that's coming through to Tovic right now off the racket of Katy O'Shea is just too much for Tovic to be able to handle.
Yes, big boom in serve so far. I like the variety on that last play, even though it just missed wide.
See, beautifully struck serve down the tee within inches of the singles service line and the centre line. And again, that's the strength of Katy. She can hit her mark. She can certainly play a variety of different paces and speeds. She'll never give it the same look.
That's right. One of the natural service actions win a lot of points. So it's to be returned to Peyton Duckett serving. Oh, what a serve. Great ace down the middle there. Peyton going from strength to strength, and the home crowd is absolutely loving it.
Like a wave of support, isn't it? She keeps riding that crest up a set and 3 games to love. This is a funny thing, isn't it? Once you feel good about yourself, you feel in control, you start playing better. The power of the mind. I mean, the best players in the world are the guys that everyone can hit the ball the same. It's the guys that can actually hold the composure at the most difficult times, Tommy.
Bit of luck there from Peyton. Fortune favours the brave. So, yes, you're exactly right. Thousands of players around the world that hit the ball really well, but you know what separates the professionals from the social players, the people playing the local money tournaments? And yeah, I believe it is all mental. They're relentless in their pursuit of excellence and true professionals, and just win or lose, come out and train the house down day after day. And Peyton just wide there. Good depth from Xinyi.
All sort of propped up on it. Just caught. Not chalk will sort of stop the ball, make it prop. If it would, took green, the grass. Again, Peyton, very good, confident of her game midway through this second set.
Peyton just returning the ball to one of the social players down in court 4. Lovely to see the club full, all the courts being used. Great atmosphere down here at one of Australia's great clubs.
Nice deep slice return from Zheng, just forcing Duckett back onto the back foot. I mean, when you're 2 or 3 metres back behind the baseline, it is very tricky to get that ball up and over the net at pace, Tommy George. Hence why a lot of the technique and a lot of the training is to hitting deep balls, not short balls. I guess that's why Novak's been so successful. I mean, I think he hits balls, he hits his marks close to the lines better than anyone else in the men's game at the moment.
He sure does. He's basically been unbeatable at the Australian Open the last few years. A lot of people starting to say that he's separated himself. There's a big debate about who is the GOAT, who is the greatest tennis player. Is it Fed Express? Is it Rafa? Is it Novak? People are starting to make a strong case that he is the greatest, and he's got many more Grand Slams up his sleeve. So looking forward to watching him over the Aussie summer. Hard luck there from Peyton. Constructed that point beautifully with great depth and good power on the ground strokes, and unfortunately just missed that shot for her. But good aggressive play from her there.
And that debate will rage on, Tommy George, about who the greatest player is of all time. Pretty hard to choose between generations. But this generation between Novak, Rafa and Roger can be hotly debated. Beautifully played point. You can hear the crowd go up as one. The hometown hero, Peyton Duckett. So I thought that play was smart by Zheng. Unfortunately, just came up short. Beautiful backhand passing shot by Duckett just to close that point out.
Point of the day. We saw everything in there. Xinyi didn't do anything wrong. What a backhand passing shot from the Duck to finish it off. Crowd went wild.
Beautiful comeback point from Zheng. She's not going away. She's certainly not giving up. Great counter punch, and again being more aggressive. Saw the short ball and moved forward, putting the pressure on Duckett.
Yes, big smile there from Xinyi. Credit to her. She's still giving 100%, hanging tough in there, and good response.
Playing that backhand wide, Duckett in good control. Midway through this second set, currently leading by 7 games to 5, 3 games to love. As we say goodbye to Tommy George for the time being, we're going to bring in Shane Smedley, former over 55s World Doubles Championship silver medalist. Interesting to get Shane's thoughts about today's play. Pushing that backhand wide, and you can see the frustration creeping into Zheng, just hitting her calf with her racket. Knows that there's opportunities gone begging throughout the entirety of this match. As we welcome in Smedley into the booth for the first time. Former over 55s World Doubles runner-up.
Thanks, Brett.
Smedley, have you seen the day's play so far?
I can't believe it's just such a great venue, isn't it? It's changed a lot from when we were playing here when we were younger. They've extended the balcony, or the veranda, if you like. They've got a couple of major sponsors, naming right sponsors. There's a nice big crowd on the on the veranda, and they're really enjoying some quality tennis. It's just a shame that the first match pulled up a bit short when the girl hurt herself.
Libby Mussared.
Yeah, hurt herself.
Captured the knee. Unfortunately, she's still elevating and icing it.
Yeah.
Good first up match here between Peyton Duckett and Zheng.
Looks like Peyton's doing it pretty well, isn't she, at the moment?
She certainly has put the foot down in the second set. Young Zheng had 5 games to 2 lead in the first set. Frustrations crept in, a few unforced errors. Peyton Duckett's capitalised on that wave of momentum, and it's a funny thing, momentum, isn't it, Shane?
Well, it can change without you being aware of it. You know, it can change on one point, and we've all heard about players being in the zone, and when you're in the zone, it's such an easy game to play.
Beautiful forehand down the line there from Peyton Duckett.
And I think all players try to get in that zone as much as they can, but it just fluctuates so quickly. And when you're doing it easy, you don't think about the points, and when you're struggling, you start to overthink. And what they say, paralysis by analysis.
It is.
Yeah.
I can tell you, when you get into that zone, Smeds, I've seen you in that zone many times, particularly at the World Championships where you're a silver medalist.
Oh,
I'll touch on that shortly. Beautiful return. Great deep backhand again from Zheng, moving forward. Lovely backhand cross court. I mean, your experiences on the world stage in the ITF against some great players still going around, former top 100 players. I mean, there's life in the game of tennis at all ages.
Yeah, and that's why I know you're working very, very hard, and I'm sort of trying to do what I can at Curtin University, trying to encourage these 18 to 23, 24-year-olds to come back into the game. That's the big thing that I've seen coming back to have a look at the tennis today and the last couple of weeks in the State League is Tommy George must be doing an awesome job because we've got a lot of younger athletes playing, and both men and women. You know, years ago, it was State League was dominated by men in their 20s and 30s. We don't seem to be seeing that too much now. Probably the oldest team now is at Kings Park, and most of those boys are in their 20s, late 20s, early 30s. But I'm particularly so in the women. The women have got a lot of athletes who were like today, 15, 16. And it's a changing the guard. So what it does, it shows me that the high performance program at Tennis West is doing a tremendous job, because I also understand that some of these athletes are highly ranked as well.
No question about it. Zheng overplays that backhand. Going down. Another service break, trailing by a set and 5 games to love. As Peyton Duckett changes ends. She's catching up with...
Is that Greg Hutchinson? Is that Greg Hutchinson over there?
Tennis Australia's very own board member.
Board member and ex-president of Tennis West and major sponsor, I believe.
Major sponsor. He's covering all bases, is Hutchie. At the moment, he's just sitting down there having a few words to Peyton Duckett, letting her know that she's playing great tennis, just keep the rhythm going. Only moments away from closing this match out against Zheng from Cottesloe.
And Hutchie loves his tennis, doesn't he? Just loves his tennis. Always been involved with Alexander Park too.
Skip across to court number 2, Katy O'Shea, closest to the camera. Oh, beautiful court craft, Katy. That short chip down the line.
Old school, wasn't it? Just
school.
old school.
I'd love to see it. Currently leading by 6 games to love. Giving herself some self-praise on the court there. I mean, she's just a pure ball striker, Katy O'Shea, multiple State League title winner against Lara Tovich. And we see the power of that forehand cross-court from Katy, and a little bit of a come on. She understands the importance of this early stage of the second set to get on top. Skip back to court number 1. Peyton Duckett looking to serve out this match against Zheng for Cottesloe.
5-0 second set. It's that forehand beautifully, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She leans on that forehand.
Yeah, it's big.
Nice early preparation. 30 love. Peyton moments away from giving Alexander Park a 2-rubber to love lead.
And I was speaking to one of the coaches and the high-performance coaches out at Tennis West, Peter Schoolcates. Peter's in the crowd, and shout out to Peter. And he knows, he works with all these athletes, of course, and he was saying that Peyton's made huge strides in her game of tennis. Only young though, 15, 16 maybe.
Just pushing that backhand wide, and I think if she goes to the tail of the tape today, Zheng, she's made too many unforced. She's been in a real winning position, particularly in that first set, Shane, and hasn't been able to capitalise against Peyton Duckett, who's been a great counterpuncher out here, and is moments away from closing this match at 3-match point.
Yeah, I think Zheng has been frustrated by the ability of Duckett to. That's a lovely shot. Yeah, lovely shot. She's been frustrated by the retrieval ability of Duckett, and so she's been forced to pull the trigger a little bit more, a little bit quicker than probably she would like to. And generally, I think that shot down the line's probably hurt her a little bit because she's missed a fair few of those. Not by much, just by a little bit.
40-15, leading a set and 5 love. Duckett serving. Playing that backhand just a little bit long. Still, plenty of road in front of her. Zheng to mount a comeback. Saved another match point against Peyton Duckett from Alexander Park.
Might feel a little bit of pressure here. Serving match point, second serve. Good depth. have a look at that. That was
just lovely touch.
That was just
there.
nasty. That was
It
just
was.
nasty.
You know, she
Inside
needs to
out slice, forehand drop shot.
what she
Just
can to
nasty.
get back on parity here, back to juice. Saved 3 match points already as we see Peyton just taking her time at the back of the court. A little bit of fatigue coming into her legs. We heard Tommy George talk about Peyton's Platinum AMT run last week, which got through to the final, losing to Lily Fairclough.
Yeah. The,
Juice.
oh, it's a great
Lovely.
shot.
Wrong footing, Zheng, on that occasion.
Yeah.
That's an underutilised shot. I
It
think,
is.
Shane,
Took
going
it
back behind
early.
your player.
Took it early. And what I liked, she got up on the baseline on that one.
Yep.
Took the ball early, gave the Cottesloe girl no chance to
Zheng.
recover.
Another match point, 4th match point for Peyton Duckett for Alexander Park. Beautifully closed out, perfectly timed backhand down the line for Peyton Duckett, winning that match against Cottesloe. Zheng, 7 games to 5, 6 games to love. Wonderful performance from Peyton Duckett, particularly the start of that second set. Shane, she really just put the afterburners on, put the head down, gritted the teeth, and as we see her just celebrating with Greg Hutchison. Wonderful effort by young Peyton Duckett to give Alexander Park a 2 rubbers to love lead heading into this #1 singles tie between Lara Nikoloski and Sheridan Adams.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to the #1s go head-to-head. Hutchie's just looking after his charge there. So he's done a good job, got across the line. I thought the first set was pretty tight. Clearly a little bit more self-belief in that second set. And,
Skip
did
across
the
to
work.
court #2, Shane.
I got to tell you something. I was sitting down talking to my good mate Peter Schoolcoat at the back of the court, and I saw Katy work out to play her singles, and I thought, I pity anybody that's got to play Katy O'Shea on a grass court. I have known Katy for a long time. As you mentioned earlier, Katy's highly credentialed. I remember playing out at City Beach with Joe Fall, Robin Lamb, and she had
Watson girls, Stephanie and Maddie.
yeah, did I see Steph out here today?
Yeah, she's playing today.
And I saw her, and she was a dynamite grass court player.
Numerous MVP player for State League and State League winner.
So she's got a big serve, big forehand, but more importantly, she's got a grass court craft that
She has.
you don't see in many of the younger girls today. So when I walked out, when she walked out, I thought, young Georgia, she's got her work cut out for her, because Katy plays a great game, and we've seen it 6-love first set, 1-love second. So she's got her work cut out, and you can just sort of see in young Georgia that she's really struggling to believe that she can make a difference there, because she plays such a strong game, Katy.
Currently leading by 6 games to love and 2 games to love in the second set.
Yeah.
Just overpowering her opponent at the moment. And
Very hard to turn that around, isn't it? When you've lost 8 games in a row, you know people are watching you. You notice that it's also being streamed, courtesy of the West Australian. Oh, okay.
Lara Tovic serving closest to the camera.
Yeah, so what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, thank you very much, was that it's very, very hard to keep the belief and keep the faith when you've dropped 8 in a row. You know it's being streamed live to the West Australian, so you know you're being showcased today, and it comes down to a real belief, doesn't it?
No one had more belief than you on the court, Shane Smedley. Dulcet tones of Shane, the over 55 World Doubles Championship runner-up, silver medalist. In fact, and also the program originator at Applecross Senior High School, one of Australia's best school tennis programs. You must be very proud of your legacy at Applecross.
Yeah, I am, Brett. It's a program that was dear to my heart. I saw a niche for it, saw an opportunity for it, and worked really, really hard to recruit some quality players. The hardest thing was getting the program going, trying to get people to show have faith in something that you're offering. And once we started getting some athletes in, more athletes then wanted to come in. And we developed really strong links with Blue Gum Tennis Club at the time, with Tennis West, and then the high performance coaches at Tennis West at the time. And we had Len Cannell coming out and doing some work, and it's just evolved. And at the time, when it started, it wasn't part of the TE program. It's obviously now very highly regarded in the ATAR program and phys ed studies. So if anybody's looking to get a quality high school education locally, pick up Applecross Senior High School, because you can get a TE ATAR education there through phys ed studies, specialising in tennis.
Just watching Katy O'Shea against Lara Tovich. Tovich from Cottesloe serving closest to the camera. Looking forward to. That's a big backhand down the line. Well, you spoke to that, just that ability to create pace out of nothing at all from Katy O'Shea. I mean, multiple state league winner, multiple MVP for state league. She's a national junior champion. Just one of the cleanest ball strikers you'll see.
Yeah, she's always hit the ball well. And what's happened is I think Tovich's second serve's a little bit shaky and it's coming up a bit short. So Katy's just stepping up on it, just wailing away on there.
Catching the top
No,
of
she's
the tape.
finding
Looking
it
forward
pretty
to this number one
Yeah, heard a
singles
lot
match
about
too.
this
Lara Nikoloski from Cottesloe, furthest from the camera. They go up against Sheridan, Currie, both players terrific competitors out on court. Lauren, big article in today's West Australian. Lovely photo of her talking about this matchup against Sheridan. Knows that she can't give Sheridan too much opportunity. And Sheridan, she'll give Lauren a different look on grass. She'll move forward, she'll use different spins, different paces. This is going to be a very entertaining match.
Yeah, well, I think Currie's just graduated from US, hasn't she? Hasn't been home too long, so she's a graduate, an alumni from the US college system over there. They work the athletes very, very hard, and you'd expect her to have an all-court game. Even on grass, you'd expect her to be pushing forward, and I really look forward to seeing what she's got to offer.
Two different styles out here today. Lara Nikoloski, heavy hitter from the back of the court. Sheridan will move forward. She'll use the chip backhand, and particularly on grass courts. I mean, you played here for many years, and you know the value of moving forward and using the slice on the grass court, Shane. I mean, it'd be well advised against Lauren to use more change of pace and different spins.
But having said that, knowing that these were ex-bowling greens, they were always super hard, super fast, so the bounce was good. Nothing like you'll find on other grass courts and most other clubs. Beautiful courts that presented beautifully again today. So Lauren will get away with a little bit more today, I think, with the ball. It's not going to die so much. It'll make it a little bit harder for Sheridan. But of course, as you yourself would know, Brett, the last thing you do when you're playing a girl that hits the ball strongly off the back court, you don't give her what she wants. So you'd expect Sheridan to mix it up, drop it short, hit that slice as you were talking about, come in and put pressure on her. Nothing harder than the pass when you're 2 metres behind the baseline.
Absolutely. I might have a word to young Talia Edgar, who's the winner against Libby Mussared. You would have seen Talia Edgar earlier today up against Libby Mussared. We've got Talia right now. Have a bit of a chat to us. Congratulations on your win, but you must be happy with your form, but a little bit disappointed that the match ended the way it did.
Yeah, she played really well and I felt really bad by the end of it, but I hope she's all good. Hopefully she hasn't done anything too bad.
You think she needs to get it checked, but we spoke to Greg Hudson, who's one of the physios here. He thinks it's 3-6. So a couple of months away from the game, but your form, I mean, played very well out here. You like these courts. They're a high bouncing grass court, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really great. It's really nice to play, and especially the weather was great for it. So yeah.
I don't think there was a drop of breeze out there during your match. It was absolutely perfect conditions. Now, your form throughout the year, I mean, you're pretty happy with the way you've been playing in pennants and in your tournaments?
Yeah, pretty good, you know. It's getting better, but yeah, it's still lots of improvement, but it's okay.
No, we're all lots of improvement in Australia. Now, Tommy George was talking about you before the start of the match. You train incredibly hard. You do a lot of running and triathletes as well. I mean, is that just in you? Is it you have to motivate yourself to go out and go for a run, or do you just love doing it?
A bit of both. I do love like fitness and getting fit and stuff, but yeah, there are some days when I'm like, you know, kind of force myself, but you know, it's really enjoyable and I just love getting in the spirit of running and, you know, training hard, so that's good.
Great attitude, and we spoke about just moments ago Applecross Senior High School. Now you're part of the Applecross Senior High School tennis program, of which Shane Smedley was the originator of that program.
Wow.
You've got Talia Edgar, one of the up-and-coming juniors. So how have you found the Upper Cross tennis program?
Yeah, it's great. You know, all the opportunities that we get is great. The coaches are great, and yeah, it's just really fun to play during school. You know, we get to train during school, so that's great.
How about a shout out to your coach? Who's your coach there at the moment?
Mr. Hines.
Lance. You know, Lance was one of my pupils in that program.
Well, that's showing more about your age than what the listeners want to hear about. But well done today, Talia. Loved watching you play. Looking forward, hopefully, we'll get some doubles actions today, depending on if Cottesloe can get that 5th member. And good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Talia Edgar, one of the up-and-coming stars in WA tennis, one of the products from the Upper Cross Senior High School, of which there is an award named after you, Shane Smedley.
Yeah.
You must be very pleased with that.
Yeah, you keep putting me down though, Brett Patten. You keep telling me how old I am, don't you? Hey?
You certainly don't look at over 60, I can tell you that. Not a day.
No, it's program very dear to my heart, and it's just gone from strength to strength. It was always regarded pretty highly nationally, and I think the players now are even stronger than what they were then. So, you know, we had students travelling as far down south as Mandurah, Mandurah to even up from Ocean Reef Way. So students travelled a long way to be part of it, and we're always looking to make the program stronger and stronger. And I think what they've got now is a great mix now, because there was always a challenge trying to combine both tennis and your studies, because primarily you're there for your education first. And I was just very, very fortunate that Upper Cross Senior High School was in that blue ribbon belt of quality high schools south of the river.
Just watching Sheridan Currie and Lara Nikoloski go through the final preparations for this #1 singles match. Highly looking forward to a high quality match out here between Sheridan Currie and Lara Nikoloski. Both players will give each other a different look. Lauren wouldn't have played against someone who's coming at him.
Half a minute, girls, half a minute.
And using the different slices and pace that Sheridan will give. And Sheridan Currie, of course, up against the hard-hitting Lara Nikoloski, and she'll probably use that pace to her benefit just by moving forward, blocking the balls.
Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, I remember watching you play a State League Grand Final against one of the hardest hitters in the game at the time, Kurt Robinson's young boy, Jake Robinson. I remember you playing at centre court at Cottesloe. How can we forget? We've seen it on Facebook that many times. Every year it seems to get a run again. And I remember you playing Jake, and Jake was big off the back of the court, and you just chipped and charged and dinked him, and it was great to watch.
Seems like a lifetime ago, but good memories nonetheless. We're just waiting for the final moments of this first singles match against Lara Nikoloski and Sheridan Currie's. Score update on court #2. Katy O'Shea currently leading 6-love, 3-love serving.
Doing it easy,
Lara
isn't she?
Tovic.
Yeah, doing it easy.
It's great to see Katy back playing top-line tennis. Took a year off. Back at Alexander Park alongside Sheridan and Talia Edgar and Peyton Duckett. A strong team looking for their first win in the State League season. Both girls just saying, yep, we're ready. They'll just go and towel themselves off, have a drink of water, as is the norm, and get ready for this opening stages of the first #1 singles.
They do it well, don't they, Alexander Park? And there's a nice big crowd on the balcony there. They're all enjoying quality tennis. It's a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky.
Katy O'Shea serving.
Can't be long to go now.
Beautiful technique, Katy O'Shea. Lovely slice back in.
Slice deep, see that, yeah.
Called a little long.
Yes.
Just a little fraction long. Of course, there's no umpires or ball kids on court. It's all done by the players. And there's an adjudicating referee, Shane, that just gets around to make sure the day is played in the spirit that it should be.
Katy never questioned the call, so that was a nice thing to see. Don't always see it go that way.
Here we go. Commencement of #1 singles, Sheridan Currie, the much anticipated matchup between Sheridan and Lara Nikoloski. Sheridan serving closer to the camera.
Will Sheridan throw in the occasional serve and volley, do you think, Brett?
No doubt about it. Certainly see some change of pace, change of tactics from Sheridan. Of course, Sheridan was a graduate from the Sam Houston State University in Texas.
So what's Sheridan doing with herself now? Is she coaching? Is she has she applied it? Has she applied a degree?
Real estate. She's in real estate. Yeah, family's been in real estate for many years. Also does some white collar boxing. She's a good boxer, amateur boxer.
Probably would have picked that up as part of a fitness regime when she was away, I would have thought.
Good deep right on the baseline there from Lauren. And a lovely off forehand and fist clenched nice and early, just asserting herself on Sheridan Currie. Yeah, she's a wonderful boxer. I think she's had 4 amateur fights, 4 wins.
Would she have you covered? She would do, wouldn't she?
Well, she'd have everyone covered. Mind you, you keep telling us that used to be a black belt in Taekwondo.
Tell you, I just got a glimpse from Ghost of Christmas Past a minute ago. Looking at the back of Sheridan Currie, the way she sets on reserve, looked like Nikoloski.
Nikoloski was a wonderful doubles player.
Tremendous player.
Player with Casey Duckett on the tour. Played Venus and Serena on main courts at Wimbledon, Australian Open 1 year.
And a stalwart of Blue Gun Tennis Club.
Father Jimmy Saw, one of the great stalwarts for Footscray.
Yeah, she prepares on a serve a lot like her. Ground strokes are presented the same way.
Beautiful forehand down the line again, just short backswing, short follow through, hits the ball really flat, Sheridan Currie. This ball will skid through on these courts, Shane.
Yeah, Sylvia was the same, wasn't she? She'd play up. She used to have a collar up nice and high on the back of her neck, and she'd step inside the court every chance she got. Tremendous doubles player as a result of that.
There it is. There's that court craft,
that's
Shane,
what
we were
we're
talking about.
I
mean, it does.
Nice
You don't see
little
that
dink.
too often
No, you
nowadays.
don't.
In the women's game, it does take away the rhythm of the opponent.
Well, what happens is most of the baseline players actually travel the baseline really, really well, but they don't move forward on the ankle so well. So, I mean, all of a sudden you're taking a player who's really comfortable on the baseline, having to move forward through the tram lines, and that's a different movement for most of these athletes.
Crowd here at Alexander Park Tennis Club is watching the one singles match up here. It's the second court. Katy O'Shea up a set and 4 games to love against Lara Tovich.
You should be looking to put this away as quick as you can and get out of the sun. It's been pretty hot today. I think driving in it was 28, 30 degrees, so it's a lovely day. Court's only get faster and faster. Balls will get faster.
A lovely little dink shot there again from Sheridan Currie, making Lauren move forward. You wouldn't have felt the heat in the Range Rover. The air conditioner on, a little bit of the 80s music playing.
Wind
Shane.
blowing from her hair, Brett. It was
no doubt about that. Beautiful play again from Sheridan Currie again. Very exciting player. Great court craft, serving.
You know, what I'm thrilled about with Sheridan is she actually come back and made a contribution again to Women's State League. We tend to find for some reason, and that's what you and I have talked about a number of occasions, how we re-engage these athletes of this sort of age group. And she's come back from the States and she's playing again, and she's playing State League and representing her club and putting back into the game, which has sort of built her up. And I think that's great. And we've got to find a way to reach more women out there who have just lost to the game, haven't we?
There's that counter-punching style from Sheridan. You can see her just getting a little come on under the breath. She knows the importance of getting off to a good start. And Lauren's game is very much built around great contest, good court movement, heavy hitting from the back of the court. And the change of speed will, certainly in the early parts of this match, once she starts to work Sheridan out, will trouble her.
Yeah, I think Lauren's going to struggle as soon as the ball gets deep on her. Oh, there's another. There we go.
Oh, good cover by Lauren.
Great run.
Beautiful court movement. And we've seen that a lot from Lauren. She is a great competitor, but what we're seeing here is there's an intention there for Sheridan to give her some change, some looks, some different spins.
I think Lauren's going to find it hard when the ball's really deep on her, because she likes to set up on the ball, likes the big back swing. Is that your scooter going past over there? Looks like your scooter. And so she'll struggle with the ball coming on really deep to it because she likes time to set up on it and won't get that. But I think in that last one, I think Sheridan just went to the well once too often on that slice cross court, didn't she?
Currie serving. Just a little long. I do like that play though. Sheridan moving forward, making Lauren come up with a passing shot.
It's a Christmas pass.
Good day to Annette Livesey, the president of the Duckett Tennis Club, playing here today. Wonderful to see. They're calling into the commentary booth.
Lovely shot, Lara, over there.
Beautiful
Nice
backhand down the line. Good cover.
Oh,
You don't mind. And
well.
Great control there, the passing shot from Lara
I just
Nikoloski.
had flashbacks to B Patten playing D Patten on a shot like that. When the ball was short like that, big D would have gone straight through you then. But Lauren was actually quite reserved on that last one.
Juice. Currie serving, second serve, opening game of this first set. And again, Currie just giving herself the little G up.
Yeah, it's been a long first game, hasn't it? Long,
Has
it's
been
been great
just feeling each other out.
Yeah, it's been good. If you're hearing some of the applause in the FX microphone, it's because this game on court 2 is very, very close to finishing. And
Katy O'Shea serving, set and 5 love, the closing moments of this number 3 singles rubber between Cottesloe and Alexander Park. Cottesloe trailing 2 rubbers to love at this moment. Overplaying that forehand. Lara Tovic, you can hear her frustrations coming out.
yeah, she'd be very, very keen to get a break here and get on the board, wouldn't she? I think she's a set and 5 down, so it's the last chance for her to get into the game. So she's really trying really, really hard. Just pushed a little bit too hard in that last shot. So we're getting close to match point, I think.
Caught off guard.
Well done.
Nice and deep. Backhand response from Lara Tovich. And
Fighting very hard, isn't she?
well, she is, and she certainly won't give in, even though she's down 6 love, 5 love.
Oh, she's broken. She's broken. Got the first game.
Broke back 5 games to 1 in the second set between Katy O'Shea
So
and Lara
maybe
Tovich.
that's a platform to build on. She'll be happy with that. Get on the board now.
Katy just holding up Lara. Comes back with a nice aggressive forehand down the middle, Katy O'Shea.
And I think whilst Lara's been, I wouldn't say taught a grass court lesson, but found out she's playing a player who's got some real quality grass court credentials. She hasn't given up. She's kept her head up, worked pretty hard. Yeah,
Beautiful chip down the line from Katy O'Shea. I mean, that's the
old school,
aggressiveness
no?
that we've seen from Katy throughout this entirety of this match. Love 30.
And of course,
Points away from closing this match out.
and Lara's another one who likes time to be able to sit on the ball and wail away, and Katy's not going to give her that.
Nice serve down the middle. Bit of pace. Catching Katy O'Shea off guard, catching the ball late, sending it long.
So if Katy can get across the line here, all the work's before them. Cottesloe, isn't it? Because they'll be 3 down.
Beautiful serve down the tee. Lara Tovich ball swinging away from Katy O'Shea.
And Katy acknowledged it, didn't she?
She did, digging in here, Tovic from Cottesloe Tennis Club. Overplaying and just frustrated with herself at the moment, Katy. Just having a few words.
Yeah, I think she's going through that stage where she thought the game was over. She dropped this game, which she'd be disappointed about, and just probably lost a little bit of focus on that. Oh, well played. Yeah, lovely point.
Really hanging in there and hold serve to go 5-2 second set. So we skip across to the top court between Sheridan Currie and Lauren Nikoloski. Lauren serving closest to the camera. Sheridan won the opening service game.
Must be pretty warm out there because all the girls are wearing hats. You often see the girls not wearing hats, and particularly it was quite prevalent in the men too, wasn't it, to go and play without wearing a hat. It's pretty warm out here.
Moving forward, Sheridan making the short ball error.
So what does Lauren do to combat the style of play that Sheridan's going to offer?
I just think she needs to concentrating on high percentage first serves, play within her margins, keep the ball nice and deep, play the game that she wants Sheridan to play, which is from the back of the court. Anything short, we can see Sheridan looking to pounce on.
And you are well known for your grass court craft, coming in, chipping, charging, wailing away, big serves, serve volley, drop shot. What sort of player worried you the most? And don't tell me nobody.
That's a good question. I think those players who were just very consistent, didn't give you a lot of pace, very consistent, good movers, weren't going to blow you off the court, but certainly weren't going to give you any cheap points. You had to work hard. You had to win the match.
Mm. And they would have had to return serve well too, wouldn't they?
Beautiful forehand down the line again, Lauren. Just giving a little fist clench. She's carrying Cottesloe Tennis Club on her back at the moment. They are currently down 2 rubbers to love. We saw an injury to their captain, Libby Mussared, an hour or so ago. And Katy O'Shea serving for the match for Alexander Park on court number 2.
Expect Katy to come in, take this early. Oh, she's made it. She's made it. Made it. Great shot by Lara. Katy's whipped away a ball cross court. Lara's reached out full stretch, got the racket to and hit a little slice. Dink cross court for the winner.
15 love, Katy. Serving at 5-2 after winning the opening set 6 games to love. Push that wide.
A little more up on her toes, Lara, now, isn't she? A bit more belief.
Big forehand pushing it long.
Yeah, overplaying it again.
Start to see a little bit of anxiety in the face of Katy. First match back in State League for a period of time. Always hard to close matches out, Shane.
It is. It is, especially when your opposition's starting to make a few more balls and starting to make a few more shots. Puts a bit more pressure on you. So what you find in Katy's just overreaching a little bit now. Just got to settle down into a game again.
15-all.
Yeah,
First serve. You hear Katy go to the well, just giving herself a little bit of a come on, 30-15.
Yeah, you heard how important that was for her, didn't you? Needs another one of those serves here.
Beautiful play from Katy O'Shea. Finds herself with 2 match points, 40-15.
Now you could just see the experience there, couldn't you? The Freo doctors come in, the flags are starting to blow. Lara's thrown up a lob that came up short, and Katy just waited for it, stepped forward on the smash and made no mistake.
Match point. Katy O'Shea serving. Just pushing that long. Overplaying, a little bit of nervousness. You can hear Katy just calling out in frustration there. She knows the importance of closing this game out at this stage of the match.
The match is on a racket, isn't it? She's serving down breeze. That, as I said, the doctors come in, so it's quite an advantage serving down breeze now. Lara's really struggling to make an impression past the service line because of the wind and the depth of hit from Katy. So she knows she should be close this out now.
Beautifully played, Katy O'Shea.
Yeah.
That was a break back point, actually. That's now juice.
Yeah.
Katy O'Shea, just a big 1-2 punch that she's made a career out of, certainly at State League level.
Yeah, made a great first serve. Again, draw a short return, but she stepped on it, smart enough to step on it and whacked it cross court.
Juice, 5 games to 2, second set after winning the opening set, 6 games to love. Katy O'Shea, Alexander Park, closest to the camera in white, serving. Big serve down the tee, beautifully positioned. That's just wide.
Yeah.
Match Paul, first match point for Katy O'Shea in this match.
And as you'd expect, a quality player with a big serve made those serves when they count.
Stay with this match until
its
the
completion.
Score update on the top court, 2-1. Sheridan Currie changing ends. Just snatching at that forehand. Pressure starting to creep in. A little bit of anxiety in Katy's game, trying to serve this match out again. Hasn't played too many matches this season, so this is
she'll
just battling the mind.
Yeah, she'll have a few things going on ahead at the moment. And I think all Lara's doing is trying to hang in the point at the moment and make hit one more ball, which is what she's doing well.
Juice.
That's a great shot, a lovely shot.
And you can see Katy really going deep, giving herself the big come on. S.Watson court side, giving her the big come on Katy as well. Again, knows the significance of this point right here. Doesn't want to be pushed.
Yeah, she's always prepared well on her back, and hasn't she, Katy? Got the racket back nice and early, leant into it, took it early.
Match point number 2, Katy. Flat and wide, short ball.
Yeah,
there
well
it
done,
is.
got across.
You can hear the crowd go up as one. Katy O'Shea.
Oh, give him the fist pump, yeah.
Beautifully played by Katy O'Shea, defeating Lara Tovich from Cottesloe 6-2 in a terrific return to form for Katy O'Shea, and certainly a rubber that Alexander Park needed. They're up 3 runs to love.
And I think for me, it was lovely to see a great example of grass court tennis craft. And you saw that last point then. You haven't seen Katy hit a slice forehand all day. She's tracking, Lara's tracking off cross court there. And Katy's taken it back early and gone down the line behind her. Wrong-footed Lara and had the easy finish. So Katy's through with the result. She's absolutely pumped out there. And she'll be happy with that, something to build on.
Kick back to the top court on serve. Opening stage of the first set, I should say, between Sheridan Currie and Lara Nikoloski. As I welcome back to the commentary booth, Tom George, High Performance Tennis Academy Manager. He'll be joining Shane Smedley. Take you through some all-important moments of this #1 singles.
Thank you, Brett. Great to be back on air.
Welcome back, Tommy. What have you seen so far?
Brilliant day's play so far. I was very impressed by Peyton Duckett's big comeback in that #2 singles match from 2-5 to then not lose.
Then to win 12 games in a row. Yeah.
Incredibly impressive match there, and some wonderful tennis. Yeah.
And I think to a lesser extent, when we saw Lara Tovich out there, she was down love and 5, and came back and won the next 2 games, which showed something. It's very, very easy to lay down when you're that far down, and good on her.
Yeah, good on her. It's good to see her fighting and staying in there and doing her best.
What are your expectations around this match out here on court 1 between the #1s? Who's your favourite? Do you have a favourite?
Oh, what a shot by Sheridan Currie there. Clever little angled slice backhand. I think this is a really interesting match. A big contrast of styles here. We'll see more experienced opponent, Sheridan Currie, use that slice backhand, come forward. And then Lauren will see predominantly on the baseline. So I think it's anyone's game, this one. I think we're in for one of the matches of all of State League. I think this will come right down to the wire today.
Yeah, I think it's always exciting when you get 2 players of contrasting styles, isn't it? Because we see so much nowadays players at the baseline wailing away, moving really well across the court, but don't necessarily move well forward. Well, Sheridan's quite the opposite. She moves beautifully forward. She obviously moves well across the back court, but she moves well forward. So she's got to be able to deal with the passing shots that Lauren's going to hit. And Laura's got to come up with a strategy to the chip charge and position the net.
That's exactly right. Lauren's up and about today. She's very excited. Great photo and article in the West Australian
She would
today.
be chuffed with that, wouldn't she?
She absolutely chuffed. So whole family were very excited waking up and seeing that in one of the world's leading newspapers. So she's very excited, a lot of energy she already has. So we'll see what she does here.
I must say how great it is to see the impact Tennis West is having on the local tennis environment because of the players they're showcasing on the West Australian, now these live streams. Article in the West Australian every Saturday, live streaming, so things that are happening now that haven't happened for a long, long time.
Yeah, that's right. That media exposure is brilliant. And it's wonderful to see the best players in the state being showcased each week. Oh, what a point there from Sheridan Currie. Using her slice backhand very effectively there on the natural grass, staying low and skidding through, and then came forward and great volley into the open court. All class there from Sheridan.
Yeah, and that's the point. It's encapsulated the game so far, isn't it? She's looking to get in whenever she can. She had a lovely ball down the line and held a position on the net well and volleyed to an open court.
Oh, too good there.
And there's a big counter punch down the line.
Yes, really, really good return of serve there from Lauren.
She's struggling with the serve at the moment. Would the sun be a problem?
Yeah, a little bit. This looks like a ball toss a little bit. Good deep shot there from Sheridan. Caused a mistake from Lauren Nikoloski.
You'd expect that the longer a baseline rally goes, the stronger Lauren's chances are going to be to win the point, aren't they? And I'm sure Sheridan, with all her experience in the state, she's going to know that. She's not going to want to be drawn out to long baseline rallies.
Yes, I completely agree. The longer the rally, the more it will favour Lauren. I think it was just redoing a ball toss there.
Yeah, I'm thinking the sun might be a problem there, because she's really struggled from this end. And so, when you've got your charges and you're working with all your athletes, how do you, there's another double fault too in this game, how do you counsel your players to deal with the sun in this situation when they're losing the ball up into the sun there?
Yeah, it's not easy, so you just need to practice where they have their ball toss, where they can just do it a little bit off where they usually do and just be able to still hit a great, consistent, fast serve off that different ball toss. So.
That requires a lot of control on the ball toss, though, doesn't it, to be able to put the ball in a position where you needed it?
Sure.
Oh, it's a lovely shot, lovely shot.
Yeah, what a shot from Sheridan. Yeah, so whether the ball toss is just a little bit lower, a bit higher out of the sun, or whether it's just a little bit to the side, it's sort of personal preference. Myself like to just do a little adjustment a little bit to the left if the sun's right in the way, and then do sort of something instead of a big flat first serve, more of a kicker. Each player is a little bit different.
And I guess the other thing you look at is maybe shift your position along the baseline too. Can make a little bit of a difference as well. But she's struggling making a first serve here. Yeah, that's a beautiful point. Yeah, that's a classic grass court point. Looking for the ball to come in, took that approach shot from about the service line there, straight in down the line, volley open court.
Yeah, that's some old school tennis. Love to see that.
What's wrong with old school tennis? Nothing wrong with old school tennis.
Nothing at all when you see a point like that. Wonderful to watch.
Okay, she's worked it out then. Sheridan threw a three-quarter kicker in, got the ball behind her head, changed the ball toss position, got the first serve in, held the game. It was an important hold there.
Yes, good hold with a big command from Sheridan. The crowd very excited by that. The home team here off to an absolute flyer today, winning all three singles matches. So must win here for Lauren and Cottesloe Tennis Club to try and keep it alive going into the doubles. But up against it, 3-0 currently to Alexander Park.
Yeah, and of course, even if even if Cottesloe can win the last 3 remaining rubbers, they're going to be in a bit of trouble because they've dropped all matches in straight sets so far. So it's going to put them under a lot of pressure. So they really need a good win here, good strong win here, and they're going to have to win both doubles in straight as well.
Yes, a lot of work to do. So if anyone can do it, it's Lauren. It's a wonderful player.
I'll be interested to see whether Lauren struggles on a serve from this end, because clearly we saw Sheridan do so. So still on serve.
What's been your highlight of the day, Shane? That's fun.
You know, I got to be honest with you. Katy O'Shea's grass court tennis craft. It's a thing we don't see very much more anymore. Even at Wimbledon we don't see it much anymore, do we? Most of the players wail away, big serve, big forehand, stay back. She took us back to yesteryear. We all know she was a quality player, and I thought, you know, Katy's performance out there was outstanding, given that she's probably a little bit short of her preparation where she want to be this time of the year, because I think, did Brett say it was her first game for the year, I think? So
yeah, first singles match.
First singles match, there you go. Yes. So obviously she's very, very strong in the doubles arena, but to have her out there today, you know, I don't think Lara Tovich would have been terribly keen to know she's playing Katy O'Shea on a grass court.
No, that's right. It was wonderful to see those players such as Katy and Sheridan, you know, back playing state league and mentoring and with the younger generation, and you know, these contrasting styles. And yeah, she was very impressive in a great singles win today.
And we need more of that, don't we? We need more of these experienced athletes to come back out and mentor and buddy up with these younger athletes. You know, they can learn. They can learn from high-pressure environments. They can learn how people prepare for matches, how they conduct themselves on court under pressure. And as I was saying to Brett, you know, Tennis West is working very, very hard to try to re-engage that athlete group, and let's hopefully we can do so.
Oh, just a bit off balance there from Lauren, but big first serve, but well played by Sheridan, just blocking it back. And what's the thing to do on natural grass? You just got to make return of serves consistently and put some pressure on the server.
Well, they talk about on grass the two key points are the first serve and the return of serve. They're the 2 key points, and Sheridan's just got to make sure that she doesn't have that return of serve fall into the service area, because then it's going to make it very, very hard for her being downwind, hitting back up into the wind.
Just wide there. Lauren will be very unhappy with that shot. Uncharacteristic, unforced error from her.
Yeah, and I think Sheridan, she's got to keep, as long as she keeps away from the old no man's land there, you know, the T junction there. As long as she keeps away from that, she'll either short of that or deep of that. She'll be quite a good position here. But at the moment she drops onto that T junction there, onto that no man's land, Lara's going to wail away. Lauren's going to wail away. Oh, that's a nice point. That's a lovely point.
Yeah, wonderful point there from Lauren. Big come on. She did well there. There was a tricky smash with the ball right there in the sun. Did very well.
Yeah, but
great approach shot up the line.
But the work was done on the approach shot, wasn't it? Drew the short ball back, smashed away. You can see the wind gust up, just lost control of the ball toss there. Getting quite gusty now. Feel like it was last week at Hensman.
Very windy last week at Hensman.
Wasn't it, yeah.
Just long there from Sheridan. Yet to see her hit a topspin backhand, so I haven't seen much of Sheridan carry, but is that normal? She'll only slice the backhand?
I haven't seen her for some time, so I don't know how she's been developed. How she's been developed on the over in the States. Maybe she's been developed over there, but maybe she's going to her what she knows on a grass court. You know, hitting that slice, because that slice is doing the damage, isn't it? You've just got to prepare so early if you're hitting a two-handed backhand on grass. And there's that. Yeah, good.
Yeah, good deep forehand sliding through there. Yeah, very reminiscent of Steffi Graf there.
Yes.
Jana Novotna, Conchita Martinez.
Hannah Mandlikova.
Yeah, and showing how effective the slice backhand is. One of the wonderful things with Ash Barty's rise to world #1, showing how effective and useful a good slice backhand can be on the women's tour. So.
Yeah, I think I saw the same. We saw the same with Stozer there for a while, didn't we? She was developing quite a nice slice back, and it just didn't have the penetration that Ash Barty's got. And of course, Ash hits a beautiful topspin too when she needs to as well. Well, there's a break. That's a big game, because I felt Sheridan dodged a couple of bullets there, because she came up with a couple of short balls that I might have thought that Lauren might have got in behind, but she chose to stay back on him and took the pressure off again. And Lauren, Sheridan just got one extra ball back, forced the error, and now she's got the break.
Yeah, the big moment in the match there for the break of serve. So Sheridan and Currie 4 games to 2 up and serve. It's a pivotal moment there of the first set in this #1 ladies singles.
Katy O'Shea, congratulations. Welcome back. First singles match for 3 years at State League. I mean, how do you assess that match out there today against Lara Tovic?
It was good to get back out there. Yeah, it kind of went a bit quick, and yeah, thought I played not too bad for the first one back after 3 years.
So where have you been for 3 years? I know you've been concentrating a lot on your profession, but you've been still hitting during that time, not playing matches?
No, I actually hadn't played in 2 years, put the tennis rackets away, and yeah, was living in Kalgoorlie for a bit, and then came back, and Alexander Park called up and said, what about playing State League this year? So all the girls found their old rackets out of the cupboard, wiped off the cobwebs, and here we are.
Well, you haven't missed a beat, there's no question about that. You played for City Beach for many years. You were very successful at City Beach, won a number of State Leagues and MVPs, and also for Blue Gum. I mean, Alexander Park, is it a change? Is it a different club to City Beach, to Blue Gum? What do you like about Alexander Park?
It's a great atmosphere. It's the grass courts are amazing, and just been playing when I was junior days here as well. The grass, amazing atmosphere. I mean, look at it. It's great to see people to come down watching women's tennis as well.
Well, we're thankful to have you back and playing. You've been one of the best players for many years at State League. And how many State League titles have you won?
Oh, can't even remember.
Oh, she remembers. She tells me all the time. I think it's about 4 or 5, isn't it?
No, actually, I only think it's probably like 3.
There you go. She knew. Just dug it out of her. Now, tell us, doubles combinations today. Who are you looking to play with?
I actually don't know, but I think Peyton's out there with Steph, so I think Sheridan and I are going to take it on. So we'll see how we go.
Sheridan, your friend out here. I mean, she's got a big match up against Lara Nikoloski, who's a former player of the competition. How is she psychologically going into this match? She just goes with the flow, and she's got really nothing to lose, no pressure on her. So she's just swinging, having a go. She's actually playing really good tennis. So yeah, it's great tennis out here. Good luck. Welcome back. Love seeing you play out there. Hopefully we'll commentate a lot more of your matches throughout the year. Well done, Katy O'Shea.
Thanks, Patsy.
Katy O'Shea, very impressive in her match-up today against Lara Tovich, and a beautiful played point. You can hear that. Sheridan Currie, nice little fist pump on serve here in this first set. Shane Smedley just rolling out of the commentary booth as Tommy George and I take you through the latter stages of this first set.
Yes, great interview there with Katy O'Shea. Great to see her back in State League enjoying herself, and she was very impressive out there today. Wonderful tennis on the grass.
Beautiful, crafty play from Sheridan Currie. You can see that. Just a nice little fist pumpers. She's moving across the net on serve here in the first set against Lara Nikoloski. I want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife, Fiona, who's tuning in, listening to Tommy George and I do the broadcast, and along with Shane Smedley. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. I'll give you the updates from right across the men's and women's state league throughout the day. Some very close matches being played throughout the suburbs of Perth. Round 5 of the men's and women's state league.
Yeah, great start there from Sheridan Currie, getting up 5-2. She's really experienced campaigner there, using a slice backhand very effectively and coming forward. And you saw on that last point, a very clever little dink cross court for the winner. So Lauren will have to change her tactics here and see if she can get herself back into this match. It's a must-win match for Cottesloe, obviously, with Alexander Park up 3 matches to 0 to start the day.
Men's State League update, round 5. Cottesloe leading Alexander Park 2 rubbers to love. Will Hahn from Cottesloe defeated Daniel Downey 6-4, 6-3. Max Weir from Cottesloe defeated Josh Bowen 11-9 in the super tiebreaker in the 3rd set. Very close affair happening out there at Cottesloe. Dalkeith currently leading UWA 3 rubbers to 1. Timmy Gray defeated the informed James Newton 6-2, 6-1. Scotty Webster from Dalkeith defeated Jury to Blunt 6-love in a real bounce back of great form from Scotty Webster. Ollie Henderson from Dalkeith defeated Jasper Patterson 10-5 in a super tiebreaker, and Dalkeith Nathan Lim defeated Trent Potter. Trent's first match in Men's State League for this season for UWA, defeating him 6-3, 6-4. And the ball over happening out at Kings Park. Top of the table, Hensman Park up against Royal Kings Park. Beautiful forehand down the line from Sheridan Currie. Sam Ashenden defeated the informed Matthew Burton. Matthew's first loss for some time. Certainly wouldn't have had back-to-back losses. 11-9 in that super tiebreaker in the 3rd set. Austin Voss from Hensman Park levelling the series against Kings Park, defeating Ben Dallinger 10-5 in a super tiebreaker. And the match is yet to be played as Jake Robinson up against Zach Extend and Jaron Stafford against Ethan Cook. Very tight match out there at Kings Park. Serve down the middle, just missing wide.
Very interesting results there, Brett.
Why does she play the ball? Oh, I love the athleticism of Sheridan Currie, diving out to the backhand wing for an incredibly athletic move. Your day, how would you have gone after that shot? Would have slid into it or dived at it Boris Becker style, Tommy George?
Yes, very reminiscent of Boris Becker or Jana Novotny diving out there on the Wimbledon grass courts. I'm personally not athletic enough to have done that. I would have potted out there and just tried to slap a winner, but good effort there from Sheridan Currie to get over. We're seeing it all out there today.
Sheridan Currie leading 5-2. Out for a beautiful start. This game style's troubling Lauren on the grass here at Alexander Park. Beautiful deep serves out to the forehand wing.
Sheridan very generous on her line calls. I think there's been a couple balls I feel like might have been just out, but very fairly she plays them on.
Would we have expected this score so early in the match between Sheridan and Lauren?
No, definitely not. I thought it'd be neck up to this point. So credit to Sheridan, she's off to a flyer.
First serve at a foot long. You are right, Sheridan has been very generous on a couple of her line calls. Good deep return, Sheridan. And again, deep forehand, just a little fist clench there from Sheridan Currie. A little bit of breeze around at the moment, going from right to left as you're watching the screen. That's picked up in 20, 25 minutes.
Yes, it was very calm before. Now windy, change of conditions. Something Shane and I were talking about Sheridan She hasn't hit one topspin backhand since I've been on air. She's only been hitting slice backhand, so sort of remind me of Steffi Graf.
Smart play on grass. Ball skidding through, keeping low. There it is. Just talking about that slice back again. Sheridan, a very smart, crafty player. 3 years of university at college. Sam Houston, University in Texas. Yep. And you can see Lauren just firing herself up, giving herself a slap on the thigh, just to say, come on, dig deep. She certainly wouldn't have expected to be down 5-2 in this opening set.
No, Sheridan just floating that slice. It just sat up, and an easy shot there for Lauren. One of the few that sat up there. Most of Sheridan's have been like a knife.
Nice serve down the tee, holding serve, 5-3, putting the pressure right back on Sheridan Currie to serve out this first set. And again, we've seen it in the first matchup with Peyton, Duckett and Zheng. Zheng had the opportunity to serve out that first set and just got ahead of herself. The mind started playing tricks on her. Let's see how Sheridan can compose herself here and close this first set out. Easier said than done, Tommy George. Just long. Called it long for 15, love. No, change. It was actually called in. Lauren just questioning the call and asking the question. Sheridan, very fair player. Said no, that ball landed in. Love 15. Lovely court coverage and a nice fist pump too, just to come on from Lauren Nikoloski. Beautiful court, and she's got great toe. There's no question about that.
Yeah, very fast around the court. She's got good hand, so did well to adjust to that. But I actually really like that play there from Sheridan Currie, that little drop shot and coming forward. So very creative play, but finds herself in a little bit of trouble here at love 30.
Beautifully played, and the crowd have gone up, knowing the importance of that point in this game at this moment against Lauren Nikoloski. Sheridan Currie, down 30 now, 15, 30. Beautifully structured point. And just talking off air there about just the importance of that slice from Sheridan, keeping the ball low.
Yes, we've seen the success of Ash Barty with the slice backhand, so it's good. It's good to see Sheridan using the slice to great effect. Hoping a lot of the juniors are watching this.
Beautiful point again. Playing Sheridan, just putting the ball in the right positions, moving forward, being the aggressor. You know, around the net, anyone that gets to the net for me is always going to be the favourite to win the point. And on that occasion, we saw just great court craft from Sheridan Currie.
Yes, wonderful point from Sheridan. Pivotal point here, 30 all.
Pushing it wide, 40-30, set point for the first time for Sheridan Currie, fighting back from love 30 down.
Lauren will be disgusted with that shot there. Much too good a player to make that unforced error at that pivotal stage. So she'll have to reset here.
Let. Turns to the crowd and gives it the big come on. I mean, that's an instrumental and a very impressive first set for Sheridan Currie. Certainly Wasn't the favourite going into this match against the hard-hitting Lara Nikoloski, but just thought her way through that first set, Tommy George.
Yes, wonderful first set of tennis from Sheridan. Lauren wouldn't have seen that style of play for a long time, so did very well. Sheridan played very aggressively, came forward at the right times, great shot selection, good use of the slice backhand, so great tennis. So we'll move over to the ladies' doubles match on court 2.
Stephanie Watson serving, playing alongside Peyton Duckett. Stephanie Watson, as we spoke to early in the broadcast, the niece of the great Liz Smiley, multiple Grand Slam doubles and mixed doubles winner. Serving at the far end alongside Peyton Duckett, coming up against Zheng and Tovich from Cottesloe. Cottesloe leading 1-1. Early stages of this number 2 doubles at Alexander Park Tennis Club. Pushing that backhand wide. Nice deep response there from Zheng.
Yeah, great return of serve there. So probably not the right shot selection there to go for the pass-in shot with the player on the net.
Saw the opportunity. We could see it in our commentary booth. There was only about a yard and a half down that tram lines against by Peyton Duckett, but overplayed Zheng on that occasion. She's been hitting the ball really well all day. Has just been missing her margins ever so slightly, and that's been the difference between, certainly in her singles match.
That's right. She had all the opportunities in the world in her singles match and played some great tennis, but fortunately came just short. So she'll be very keen to get back in the winner's circle here in this doubles match.
Mix up here on court number 2, but they got away with it, the Cottesloe duo, and broke serve, leading 2-0. As we're watching Lara Nikoloski serving. First game of the second set, dropped the first set 6-3 against Sheridan Currie. Looking to rebound. Beautiful play.
Great play from Lauren, and I think I've been sitting here in the commentary booth wondering why she hasn't used that play a lot more with her opponent only using the slice backhand. So if she comes forward to Sheridan's backhand, she's only going to get the slice and she'll get an easy volley every time. So let's see if she's picked up on that and whether she uses that tactic in the second set.
Words from Tom George, Australia High Performance Academy manager. All overplaying, but the right idea. That's what we want to see more of, because if Lauren can attack off that backhand wing of Sheridan, to your point, you haven't seen her hit a topspin backhand, so it'll have to come back slice, and that'll give the advantage to the volleying her at the net.
Exactly right. You have an easy volley every time, or we'll see if Sheridan comes over and hits a topspin backhand, but she hasn't had to so far. Just long there.
The breeze just moving the flag around. Now it's very swirly out here. It's moving from left to right one moment and right to left as you're viewing. It does tend to swirl around a little bit later in the afternoon here at Alexander Park in the leafy suburb of Manoora, not far from Mount Lawley.
Right idea. She had the drive volley, went for it, just an execution lacking there. Lauren practices her drive volleys quite a lot and has a wonderful drive volley, so that's the right play. Credit to Sheridan hanging in there.
And I don't mind that. If she's going after that shot, she's taking the play up to Sheridan Currie. It will start to come off and start to pay dividends, start to work. I think I like the change of strategy here from Lara Nikoloski after dropping that first set, 6 games to 3 against Currie. Beautiful backhand down the line, and a nice little fist clench there from Lauren. Knows the importance of the opening game of the second set.
Yes, it's always a pivotal point, even though it is only the first game of the set, because the player's up a set in 1-love and they're running away with the match, or their opponent's suddenly up on the scoreboard. Yeah, good play from Lauren there, putting the pressure back on Sheridan, giving her a dose of her own medicine.
Yeah, I do like that play again. We've spoken about that early stages of the second set. That's the right play. Being more aggressive, making her opponent try to pass her at the back of the court on grass where the ball is skidding through. Very difficult task. So the net rusher, it will favour 9 out of 10 times. You hear the frustration coming out of Sheridan. Nice deep forehand from Nikoloski, just forcing Currie onto the back foot. She screamed out, get back, move your feet. Can't stand and deliver on the back of the court when the ball's landing right on the baseline.
Love the passion of Sheridan, really up and about today. The fist pumps and come-ons and angry at herself there, so it means a lot to her, which is great. That will be a very successful play from Lauren. She can't go wrong if she keeps doing that.
That's the shot that you were talking about. She does practice a high bolo forehand volley quite often in practice, and it paid off there.
Yeah, wonderful drive volley there, so excellent tennis as we go over to the ladies' doubles match.
Duckett serving. On serve. Trailing 2 games to 1. Double fault as we cut across. The broadcaster's curse. Steph Watson, Peyton Duckett closest to the camera for Alexander Park. Alexander Park leading Cottesloe 3 rubbers to love after the first 3 completed singles matches. Nice deep return from Tovich, forcing Peyton back onto the back foot. Peyton Duckett from Alexander Park. Sheridan Currie just walking to the net. You can see the names and bolded on the back of their shirts. Wonderful initiative by Alexander Park, letting the fans, spectators, viewers all know who they are. Kick serve wide. Oh, overplaying.
Yeah, wild shot there from Lara. Just didn't get out of the way, sort of straight into the body. Good serve there from Sheridan. Got a very powerful, strong serve, Sheridan. Getting a lot of free point. I believe she's yet to lose her serve so far in this match.
Beautiful forehand down the line. I mean, that's been a go-to play for Sheridan Currie today. Anything short, just hitting it down the line and moving forward, making Lauren try to hit the passing shot. Hasn't been successful in these early stages of this match.
Yeah, very impressive play there from Sheridan. Hardly put a foot wrong today.
That's the rally that Lauren wants to entertain with Sheridan, just moving across wide to the forehand wing. If I was on her court, I'd be keeping it away from that chip backhand. That seems to be the one side that's been doing the damage for Sheridan Currie. Keep it away from the ball skidding through. She hits the forehand flat, and that sits up a little bit more, right in the hitting zone of Lara Nikoloski. You can see the terrific sportsmanship from Lara and Nikoloski, just supporting that forehand chip down the line from Sheridan Currie as the crowd, very healthy crowd, just celebrate that shot with Sheridan. It's always easier to play in front of your home crowd, Tommy George. Yeah, beautifully played. Well constructed point from Lauren.
Yeah, wonderful return and good follow-up from Lauren there. Yes, you're right. When you've got your home crowd advantage, where it's the club where you train, you've got your spectators and groupies supporting you, it's a huge home court advantage here in State League, which we're seeing take effect today. Just wide there from Lauren. Right shot, not happy with herself, just talking to herself there, but just execution again there. Not much wrong with that point.
Well played. Beautiful forehand down the line. You can see just catching the chalk and moving away from Sheridan Currie.
Yeah, great point there from Lauren. Good winner. Sheridan very generous and fair again because the ball coming across. It would have been quite entitled to say play two there.
I've seen players do that.
Yes, I know many players that wouldn't have hesitated in that scenario. Another big body serve from Sheridan.
She broke a string. You could hear the snap, the pop of the racket as he went through that backhand. You can see her just looking to change rackets. How often would players, particularly with the technology in the strings, snap strings in the match nowadays, Tommy?
It's very rare during the match now because usually the players have their rackets freshly strung before they play these big State League matches. But in training, it depends on the strings and the brand and the gauge. So some of the top strings, you know, they can last, you know, between 3 and 5 hours with the top players. So then you obviously have the more durable strings. So it really depends on the level of the player, their type of game style. Before you were going through some of the scores around the grounds, and it was a very impressive win there from Will Hahn over Daniel Downey, and I swear he breaks a string every day. But I've never seen anyone in my life break more strings than Will Hahn. Must be almost every session.
Leaning lefty. Cottesloe, terrific player, terrific young man. She just loves that little chip cross court, doesn't she, Sheridan Currie? She's played it very well this afternoon, but on that occasion, just pushing a little wide, and you can see Lauren just taking some extra time. A long point, a lot of court covered.
Yeah, big physical point there on the grass. It's more like a clay court point there. Another good play there from Sheridan, just missing it wide, but it's been very effective, that little chip cross court.
Conditions humid, hot. Energy sapping out here on this #1 court. You can see the shadows of Sheridan Currie, so the sun right behind her back. And again, beautiful cross-court forehand from Sheridan Currie, catching the ball a little late. Nikoloski, the ball skidding through. Quite noticeably on that occasion, just skidding through and keeping quite low.
Yes, Sheridan's forehand is sort of very low and flat, so she does get great effect here on the natural grass. It really skids through.
Long game here. Start the second set. Must-win game for Nikoloski. Again, finds herself at a break-point opportunity here. Just to see what this means to Lauren. If she can get this point, I can imagine there'll be a big come on.
Oh, for sure. Very animated player, Lauren is.
shot. Sheridan Currie just knows when to pull the trigger on those drop shots at the right time, Tommy.
Sheridan Ashbarty Currie, she's really using that play great effect. Another beautiful point from Sheridan Currie, and she made a very difficult volley look easy. So great tennis, well played to pivotal stage, saving break point.
Again, just girls taking a little extra time. It's becoming quite a physical match out here, court number 1. Yeah, she likes that, and the fist pump there's the come on that she was after. Gives herself another opportunity to break. Early stage of the second set, after dropping the opening set. Lara Nikoloski, furthest from the camera, all blue from Cottesloe. Form player, certainly one of the form players in the Women's State League competition this season. And come on as we expected, a little fist clenched, 2 games to love. Early stages of this second set, a must-win set without question for the Cottesloe's entire day, Tony.
Yeah, definitely. Lauren did very well there. It was a really good return of serve again, so she's got a bit of a pep in her step now. She's got that break serve. As we always say each week, it's not a break until you hold your own serve, so we'll see how she goes here.
Forehand. Spoke to Matty Ebden earlier in the session today. Talked about him handing out rackets down to the roadshow. He finds himself down in Dunsborough with his lovely wife Kim, just taking on the rays, relaxing after a grueling ATP season.
Just wide there from Lauren. If there's one professional player that knows how to look after their well-being and have breaks, it's Matty Ebden. He does a good job. He's been on a big slog travelling around the world all year, and it's nice that he's actually having a couple of days off down in one of the most beautiful parts of the world. So hopefully they're having a good time, and Kim's got a baby on the way, so exciting times ahead for the Ebdens.
Had a quick chat to Matty yesterday and Kimmy about what they're going to do next year. Apologies. A bit of technical issues on court number 1 as we concentrate on the women's doubles here, just forcing that long. Lara Tovich. I asked Kimmy what they're going to do with bub number 1 when it arrives, and they said their plan is to keep touring. But it's all going to be dependent on how well Bubs behaves. Oh! Just off camera you would have seen, you didn't see, but there was a big dive from Sheridan Currie off a drop shot from Lara Nikoloski. She just gives every inch of herself, Sheridan Currie, doesn't she?
Yeah, you got to love her attitude. Wonderful attitude. Yeah, so Kim does a wonderful job there, travelling around and supporting Matt. It's not easy, especially travelling around with COVID and constantly having COVID tests at every place they go to and hotel quarantines. And she's been a wonderful support for Matt, and she's lovely. And shout out to Matt and Kim if you're listening in, which they do each week. Yeah. So hope you're enjoying the coverage, and hopefully you're having a nice day down in Dunsborough.
Go past the end of the wineries. I'm sure Tommy and I would enjoy a nice drop of Shiraz or a Cab Sat on their way back.
Yes, would love a gin and tonic down south there. Wonderful day for it.
Stick with the doubles. A few technical issues on court number 1 between Sheridan Currie and Lara Nikoloski. We'll bring you those pictures as soon as we can. The score is 4-3 in favour of Alexander Park. Upper break. It's women's number 2 doubles, serving Peyton Duckett. We've seen Peyton earlier in the day defeat Zheng from Cottesloe, straight sets. That chord.
Ooh.
Beautiful. Just straight at that right hip. We spoke about the body serve and certainly the ground strokes right at the net plant. That right hip for a right hand, it just jams them right up. They can't get around and make any good contact with the ball, Tommy.
Yes, for any young juniors listening out there, exactly right. If it comes straight at your body there, always go with the backhand volley. Always a lot easier. That right hip is always notoriously tricky. So good job from Peyton targeting the right hip there.
And again.
And again, good play there from Peyton. So a solid cross court and then bang, she whips it into the net player. So just for Xinyi and Lara, up at the net, you can't go wrong if you expect every single ball being hit to come to you. If you have that mentality, you'll probably be already up at the net for the next volley.
What I like about Peyton and Steffi there from Alexander Park, always talking about where they're going to serve, where they're going to move. Great teamwork. Again, nice serve to the forehand wing. Lara Tovic overplaying it. Even Lara and Xinyi getting around each other and just giving each other high fives. I mean, it's really important that you're on the same page, isn't it, on doubles, Tommy?
Definitely. That positive communication and body language is absolutely pivotal. I don't know about you, Brett, but I know the doubles partners that I've had, the ones that have positive and come over and encouraged me, whether I hit a good shot or a bad shot. I love playing with them, and you lift and you want to play for them, compared to the doubles partners that are a bit negative and sigh whenever if you do a double fault, and I definitely don't give them a call up to play the next tournament.
They're all lining up to play with you, Tommy George, who were a prodigious winner on the junior tour for many years. Beautiful forehand down the line from Peyton Duckett. If you don't mind, just splitting the tram lines.
Yeah, what a shot from the Duck. She's very happy with that as she turns around and smiles to the broadcast booth. She got hold of that right out of the middle.
Out of the screws, as they say in golf. Nice deep response there from Zheng again, just giving each other, Lara Tovich and Xinyi, encouragement, giving them focus on what they need to do. You can see Steph and Peyton Duckett, Stephanie Watson, niece of great Liz Smiley, inducted into the Tennis West Hall of Champions last year. Multiple Grand Slam winner, singles and doubles. Oh, sorry, doubles and mixed doubles. Great pedigree, a little wide there from Xinyi.
And no doubt that double fault was a direct result of that last return of serve from Peyton. So Xinyi just pressing a little bit because the Duck has been returning so well and created the double fault. So sometimes it's those points before the play.
Score update on court number one, back on serve. Lauren dropping her service to level the set at 2-1 in her favour, but on serve. Currie serving at the moment. We'll give you the pictures as soon as we fix a technical issue. Great work from Tomio Yamazaki and Scotty Walsh, Scotty Media, bringing this production via the West Australian newspaper live stream. Hope you're enjoying today's broadcast. You're here right across the summer of tennis.
Clever little volley there from Watson on the grass, just staying low, and they're off to a great start in this ladies doubles match.
They're changing in. It's currently leading by 6-3. Opening set to the Alexander Park duo, playing some sensational doubles after dropping their opening serve, going down an early break, fought back.
One-way traffic here today. Alexander Park doing very well, winning all their matches so far.
Must-win match for Lara Nikoloski from Cottesloe, and on court number one against Sheridan Currie. Still don't have the pictures with you. Still working through some technical issues. Stay with the doubles for now. Opportunity to give you some updates from around the other state league matches via Score Buzzer, one of the apps that we use to update all the details for the men's and women's state league. If we go across to Greenwood and Peppermint Grove, women's state league, Peppermint Grove currently lead 4 rubbers to 1. Talia Gibson from Peppermint Grove defeated Natasha Kamapeski in straight sets. Ruby Broadbent defeated Tuck from Greenwood 6-3, 6-1. Ria Makassar from Greenwood defeated Gay Leong 6-4, 6-2. And Emma Black defeated Maria Velkosovka 6-2, 6-3. And Shona Lee, former Federation Cup player for New Zealand, defeated, and Talia Gibson defeated Tak and Velkosovic 6-2, 6-2. I probably butchered those names. Tommy George.
You're doing a good job there.
So we skip across to court number 1. Watching Lara Nikoloski serve. Beautiful cross court forehand.
Yeah, well done from Lauren there. She's doing well, showing her fighting spirit that she's so well known for. So she will fight to the very end here and desperately try and bring this to a third set super tie break if she can.
And we know Lauren's not going away. She loves the competition. She loves to compete and compete hard and concentrates on every single point. So they're the sort of players I didn't like to play. That would never ever go away. That would always compete and compete hard.
That's right. And that's what Australian tennis is famous for, those never say die attitudes, fighting spirit, which Lauren definitely has.
Overplaying, forehand long from Sheridan Currie. Katy O'Shea just sitting courtside with Sheridan, just giving her some moral support. Great show of team and sportsmanship out here today, right across both these two teams, Cottesloe and Alexander Park. We saw an injury inflicted to Libby Mussared early in the day, rolled her knee. Unfortunately had to forfeit her match against Talia Edgar at the start of the second set. Currently Alexander Park leading 3 rubbers to love.
Oh, what a play there from Sheridan. She hits that ball so well that if anything short on the forehand wing, she really puts away. So Lauren can't afford to keep the ball short. She's got to keep her depth, otherwise Sheridan's all over it. Oh, just long there. Good depth there from Sheridan as well.
Just under her breath there, a bit frustrated with how she's striking the ball. Early stage of the second set, must-win set for Lara Nikoloski.
Oh, what a shot. Great footwork to get around and make that a forehand. Beautiful off forehand there. She's very happy with that.
Good hold of serve. Holding on tight, as we made mention. Currently leading 3 games to 2, midway through this second set. It's starting to warm up here, Tommy George. The sun is high, but they've still got a real bite to it. You'll probably hear us moving around in the broadcast booth here just to get out of the rays. The heat from the sun.
Yeah, those cold beers are looking very good as you see the local club members coming out and having a cold one.
A great time as we skip across to court number 2, the doubles. Duckett returning.
Perfect timing to go across here as Duckett slams another return of serve winner.
Hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. We're enjoying bringing it to you. Tommy George, Tennis Australia's High Performance Academy Manager, myself, Brett Patten, along with Shane Smedley, former World Over 55 doubles silver medalist. Bringing you all the day's play here at Alexander Park. Nice deep return, S.Watson. As he comes up and again just coming together with Peyton Duckett, talking about this next point. Beautiful off backhand by Peyton Duckett. That's something that I've seen a million times today from Peyton. Really loves that off backhand, doesn't she?
Yeah, return of serve's been an absolute highlight today from the Duck. She's been very solid off that wing, and as the day's gone on, she's grown in confidence and she's starting to really go after the return. What a shot that was. Not an easy shot to play, the off backhand.
Score check, court number 1. Sheridan Currie serving, down 1-4 against Lara Nikoloski. Up a nice break here in the second set. Turn around in form since the first set. Sheridan Currie all over Lara Nikoloski in that first set. And Lauren's found her rhythm again. Change of game style, a little bit of different strategy out here. Finds herself up a break of serve.
Lauren can't afford to get the return short there. Sheridan's all over it, those short forehands. Lauren's really going to need to watch the return of serve depth.
Ball just coming across the court before the service action. Generally what would happen there, if they serve a first serve fault, the ball comes across, what would generally happen there, Tommy George?
Yeah, so they would play 2 there and replay the point, which is tennis tradition and the rules of the game.
Catching the top of the tape, Lauren, just kissing her racket, just trying to think about what she would have done differently if she had that time again. Beautiful serve and volley, and you can see Lara Nikoloski, great sportsmanship, just giving Sheridan Currie a nice round of applause.
Yeah, well played, too good there with great serve and great volley into the open court. So well played from Sheridan. The start of the broadcast, you asked about the serve volley play. Well, there it is. It's still alive and well. Oh, what a shot from Lauren. Talking about off backhands, brilliant. Big fist pump there. A bit of pep in her step after that one. She enjoyed that one. Slap on the leg. Yeah, just great depth and power there from Lauren. That ball just stayed really low and shot through. And she needs to do more of that. You see, I just noticed a bit of blood there on Sheridan Currie's leg from all the diving around before.
Taking a little bit of bark off the knees. You'd love to see that now. Athletes will never say die attitude. Oh, ball just skiing through.
What a
Lauren. That backhand she was just swinging from the hip, wasn't she? And the ball just went straight beneath.
Yes.
Get it between the knees and the racket.
Yeah, it can happen on natural grass. Just stay nice and low there.
Beautiful forehand out to the backhand of Sheridan Currie. Have you seen this singles match, court number 1, progress? Shane, welcome back to the commentary booth.
Thanks, Brett. Yeah, I've been sitting amongst the spectators, thoroughly enjoying the game. It's certainly tightened up on court 1, hasn't it? Sheridan had it all before at one stage, just setting it, doing it easy, but it's turned around here. And I think talking to Ken Brown out the back there, Ken Brown, a stalwart of Alexander Park Tennis Club. A little bit. Evidently, the girls got smacked last week. They only got 33 games. You were saying Sheridan didn't play last week, but she's in here this week, and
making all the difference.
It made a difference, yeah.
And so is the addition of Katy O'Shea in the singles as well. It's her first match back for 3 years playing in singles, and it made a significant impact here for this team and for the depth of the team.
Well, Cottesloe need to win this #1 singles, don't they, to keep them in it. It's going to be really, really tough if they don't. Certainly a set, if anything, they've got to get a set, at least a set. But actually, no, they're already 3 down, aren't they? So they've got to win this one. And I think the game is really tightening up, and you can sort of see the pressure on Sheridan. But I was talking to Marissa Giannotti out there. I'm sure most of our listeners know Marissa Giannotti.
Some wouldn't. She's the Tennis Academy high performance coach.
Just been appointed, hasn't she?
Only a matter of weeks ago.
Yeah, and she knows Sheridan very, very well and played with Sheridan. I said to Sheridan, I said to Marissa, does Sheridan ever come over a backhand? I said, no. She used to play with a two-handed when she was in the States, and she's since developed this one-handed backhand, but she's lost the topspin on it, so she's hitting slice all the time now. And on a grass court, she'll get away with it really well, and it's been very effective for her. But I just think sometimes she's been a little bit too keen to go to that little slice drop shot cross court, and Lauren's read it a fair bit now.
Ball rolling across the court. Sheridan Currie ready to receive against Lara Nikoloski. Up a break in the second set after dropping the first set. Cottesloe in the blue, white hat.
Tell you what though, as an old serve and volley, I'm a little bit prejudiced. I'd really like to see Sheridan and Katy O'Shea play dubs together, because I would think their doubles game would be another fine demonstration of grass court tennis.
Good hustle. Great court coverage, pushing that backhand chip down the line a little wide. You can see the good wheels from Lara Nikoloski, and again she applauds the great court craft from Sheridan Currie.
And this big crowd here really enjoying the game, aren't they? Yeah, this if we get a chance, I wouldn't mind. Is it possible, Tommy, that we can share the doubles game on Court 2 with our listeners for a minute? Is there any chance we can do that? Court 2? I'd like our listeners and our viewers to have a look at this women's doubles game. The crowd are really enjoying it. But for me...
Yeah. Beautiful overhead smash from Zheng, and you hear the words from Shane Smedley. Not only is he commentating, but he's also producing on the mixing board here. Not sure that's in your contract, but anyway,
well,
to revisit that.
Just quietly, what contract? Just quietly. What I'm seeing in the women's doubles game here, though, is there's a real reluctance to move forward. The girls are playing a great game from the back court, cross court, cross court, cross court, cross court, which is great. And the girls that are trying to get in, be nice to see someone hit an occasional serve and volley or a chip and move in, and just change the focus and change the target a little bit more. But if you sit back and watch the game long enough, this is pretty much a blueprint. Oh, there we go. It's a great shot.
Backhand, forehand, I should say, straight past Duckett at the net. Open the shoulders. Lara Tovich.
I was going to say we should move back to the singles court, but I don't want to be told off again. So
just let the mixers do the mixing. As we skip back across to court number 1.
See, that's why you shouldn't be taking charge of that production.
Girls just giving each other a little bit of encouragement. Tovic and Zheng. Stay over the doubles for the time being.
So how long S.Watson been playing here at Alexander Park?
First year.
First year. So she moved across from Cottesloe.
I believe so.
And I remember Steph doing some work in the commentary box for 91.3 Sport FM too.
We did, early doors, when we had Court Talk up and running for 11 years through Sport FM.
That was a great show, wasn't it?
Wonderful. Beautiful.
Oh, a lovely show.
Absolutely. There, what you're after, Shane. Someone looking to move forward. Unfortunately, it was on the wrong approach shot.
Yeah, too short, wasn't it?
Way too short. Yeah, no, we had Court Talk running for 11 seasons, bringing you all the local tennis results, interviewing past and present players, umpires, champions of the game. That was good fun. The Big D, myself, Shane, you're involved. S.Watson was involved. We had a lot of players from WA across, just giving updates to the men's and women's state league. As we move across to court number 1, Lara Nikoloski closest to the camera, just tailing off, leading 5 games to 2.
Yeah.
Against Sheridan Currie. Currie winning the first set 6 games to 3. A must-win set for Lara Nikoloski to force this match into a super tiebreaker, which is just first to 10 points.
How are you seeing the energy levels of the 2 women out here? Who's looking a little bit more comfortable at the moment?
Well, Lauren is certainly a well-conditioned athlete. She always playing that forehand. She has a never-say-die attitude. I think her conditioning is cherry ripe. And Sheridan, I mean, her game style she'll dictate the length of every point. So I think she can play within her conditioning set at the moment, whether she wants to play a short point, long point. But such is the nature of the game nowadays, where the third set is a super tiebreaker, that it's not all that draining on the conditioning of the players now. You're not staying out there for 3 sets.
And it's probably thankful today. The players will be thankful for that day being as warm as it is. I speak to Marissa, and she was saying that Lauren is in the high performance group down at Tennis West, and she's getting a lot of work done, So I don't know whether Sheridan's getting that amount of work done, but it just looks like Sheridan's struggling a little bit more than what Lauren is at the moment.
Beautiful off forehand. You can hear the come on from Lara Nikoloski starting to fire herself up. She can see the finish line in the second set and wants to get a real springer step, springboarding into that third set super tiebreak. And I think, to your point, we're just seeing the shoulders hunched a little bit from Sheridan.
A little bit more defensive.
A little bit more defensive.
Stuck on the baseline a bit more. So, and I think Lauren can sense that too.
Uses a lot of energy in set and half. Sheridan Currie. Overplaying that forehand cross into the tram lines.
She knows she didn't execute that as well as she would have hoped to have. Just slowing her down, playing at her own pace. That's smart work from Lauren there.
Forehand again, nice sportsmanship from Lauren, just acknowledging the great forehand down the line from Sheridan Currie. I mean, it is hot out here. You can see
the, looked a bit tired,
the redness of the face of Sheridan.
I thought she looked a bit tired then. There was a short ball she could have come in on. Sheridan chose not to and stayed back, and then sort of half-hearted came into on that big forehand. Got away with it. It was a great ball down the line. Yeah, good point.
You hear the crowd going, come on, Shez. Home ground advantage here at Alexander Park. Beautiful sized crowd out here, enjoying the day, the festivities. The bar is open.
Yeah, and as I alluded to earlier, the girls struggled last week. Really found it going hard. So the crowd are looking. Oh, it's a beautiful serve there. The crowd are looking for a good outcome today. They're really hoping for one, but it has tightened up a little bit. Thank you, Mr. George. Off camera there.
And I was beautifully constructed point from Lara Nikoloski.
I was having a very informative discussion with Marissa Gianotti a little bit earlier, and I know I referred to her once already, and we're talking about...
3 times, actually.
Have we? Thank you. And we're talking about the dearth of the women in their 18 to 23, 24, and it's typically represented in the state league here. And I asked Marissa what her opinion on that was, and Marissa was very quick to point out that we're losing so many talented athletes to the college system in the States, particularly in the girls. So the girls, as they're finishing high school at 18, are being offered scholarships to the States and are off there straight away. And so it's left a big hole in tennis here at that level. So what's happened is provided a vacuum for the younger girls to move up into that space. And that's why we're seeing so many younger women playing, or even girls to be honest, playing state league, women's state league. But there's perhaps you can share this with me, coming from a competitions background. Why is Tennis West insisting that these younger girls, girls that can play junior state league, are still playing state league. They've got to play junior state league on a Sunday. Is that to sort of to keep the depth up and to sort of give these girls a further chance to develop? Have I caught you with your mouth full? Okay. I've never seen a hot dog go down so quick.
Nikoloski, forehand cross court. Point. Again, catching the top of the tape. It's a good question, Shane. I mean, the reality is that there is a void between girls of 17 and above playing state league, because a lot of them do go away to college, the better players. So we've got those 14, 15, 16-year-old
Who've now pushed up, haven't they? Yep.
Beautiful. Just missing that. I was just off camera. We saw Peyton Duckett just miss a forehand down the line, but there's a lot of science around young ladies wanting to play with their own age groups.
Well, we do know that's what keeps women in tennis, don't we?
Hence, the current junior rule, they need to play a certain amount of games in juniors before they play in the juniors league.
And how's that? I imagine it'd be received well by clubs. How are the players receiving it, and what feedback have you had so far?
There's some exemptions. So those ladies, young ladies who are good enough to play state league and are named in the team, they don't need to. They're exempt from the ruling.
Yeah. Okay. But they have to play a minimum of so many matches in a year. No minimum. I can understand.
If they haven't been exempt, they would. They play 5 matches minimum in the junior state or the junior state league, junior events, before they can play in the seniors.
That might have been what it was all about. Yes, it's something that wasn't in place in my time at Tennis West, but I can see why Tennis West would want it. I can see why the clubs would want it. I'm guessing like all those sorts of decisions, they're all under review, aren't they?
Beautifully played. And Lauren just giving the big come on. That was a beautifully executed forehand down the line. Look, everything's under review. We have a new competition league committee. We've got a new charter in place. The competition league committee.
And that's a new initiative, isn't it? The competitions committee?
No, it's been around for a while, but we changed the charter to give the competition league committee the decision-making rights rather than just a recommendation on the committee. Okay. We wanted to broaden it up to all the
5-3. Did you change in?
Constituents, all the stakeholders, all the customers.
That's worked pretty well.
In the tie break.
Aren't you in a tie break? Yeah?
No.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Back to the clubs.
Well, that's where the decision should be made, isn't it? Surely. I think the Tennis West staff should be in a position to administer the competition, manage the competition, but the stakeholders are going to have the decision-making power. Surely, I mean, it's a pretty poor place to be when 1 or 2 people make all the decisions for 7,000 players.
Nice blend of skill sets on the competition league committee, from a junior lens to a midweek lens to a lower division lens to a high performance lens. So we've got a great sense of all the decisions being made with all stakeholders in mind. That's why we made the decision to change it to to change the charter around it being a decision-making committee, and it's working well.
So an eclectic mix is what you're saying.
It's the right mix.
Was it? That was your idea, wasn't it? Or did it come from the board? Came from the CEO. Actually, yeah, I do remember that there was a competitions committee. Yeah, I do remember that. So perhaps it's always been there, as you said. It's just they've just changed it around a little bit. Oh, great volley!
Beautiful volley.
That was an important point.
Very important point. Sheridan Currie, nicely manoeuvred, sharp little short volley, off forehand volley. Watching Lara Nikoloski serving for the second set to force third set's super tiebreaker. This match has been finally balanced. This match deserves a third set.
So they're not playing a full third set. Is that the same for men's and women's? all state league matches in singles. Correct. Where'd that decision come from? Can you give us some background on that? Because it never used to be like that.
In recent times, the last couple of years have been implemented. A lot of matches weren't being
weren't being
completed.
finished. Okay. Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the tennis. Oh, snatching that forehand. You can see she turned around in disgust. Lara Nikoloski serving for the second set. There's Brett Patten. You listen to Shane Smedley, taking you through the last 10 years of tennis.
I think it's important to have a historical insight to how the trends are changing. I think a lot of your listeners, a lot of viewers will be interested in that, contrary to what you may think.
I think they're interested in the game, Shane. Beautiful big serve, Lauren. Just down the tee, forcing the error.
This must be set point, is it?
Close to it. You can hear, see her taking some big deep breaths now. Looking to force this match for a super tiebreaker. Keep Cottesloe alive. Beautiful swinging serve down the middle.
Oh,
there it is. Big come on from Lara Nikoloski, forcing this match into a super tiebreaker. Third set for our listeners and viewers out there. It's first to 10 points with an advantage of 2 points. All sets right across the men's and women's state league, a best of 3 sets, but the third set being a super tiebreaker.
So the girls have a seat now. They got a rest period now before they play their super. We're back to the women's doubles.
Overhead by Stephanie Watson. I mean, that is a very difficult shot to play. We spoke to Tom George about
high
forehand, but it's a difficult to play.
Always has been. It is, yeah.
Nice break of serve there by the look of it from Steph Watson and Peyton Duckett. Look like they're back on serve down a break here in the second.
And did Tom give you an insight as to is it a shot that should be played with a straight arm locked wrist? Because you see a lot of mistakes made when the players flex their wrist and lose control of the racket head.
Beautiful serve, Steffi. Out wide to the backhand wing of Zheng. A little bit of speed coming through the court there, Shane. Just a little bit of slipperiness out there at the moment.
Yeah, it's not an easy serve for a right-hander out wide there. Typically, you'll see the right-hander want to slice the ball, break the ball down through the middle, and that's a tough serve out there. And clearly, it wasn't expected. Great serve. And looks like Cottesloe are fighting back in their set after dropping the first. They lost the first set 6-3. 4-3 in the second. Lovely serve. Well, we've just seen from Steph Watson a vast array of serving talent. Flat out wide on the backhand court, breaker on the forehand court. A lot of talent there.
As we go across to the final set, super tiebreaker, first to 10 points between Lara Nikoloski from Cottesloe. Furthest from the camera, all blue, gets Sheridan Currie. Sheridan Currie won the first set, 6-3. And Lara Nikoloski fought back in the second, winning the second set by the same margin. Commencing the third set, super tiebreaker. Currie to serve.
Yeah, Sheridan spent some time at that change of ends, really trying to gather her thoughts there. She got a little bit flustered towards the end of that second set and looked a little bit tired, so hopefully she's taken a bit of a drink. First point down. So Currie wins it. Lara now to serve. She'll serve to the backhand court.
Early break, mini break, as they call it. Dropping a serve, Sheridan. Using the first point. Lara Nikoloski, 1-love.
That was a beautiful forehand. Beautiful forehand. Wasn't a bad return. Just probably maybe a little bit short, but again, we're just seeing that slice backhand all day. And it's allowing Lauren to set up on it now. Got a little bit more time to set up on it now. She's seeing it a little bit earlier, preparing earlier for it. 2-0. Serving forehand.
lovely touch, and you can see what that meant to Lauren, just clenching the fist and pumping the air. 3.
Oh,
Again, the super tiebreaker, first to 10 points, Shane. You got to get your mind around that because there's a lot more points playing to 10 than there is to 7. So
yeah, good match.
Long tiebreaker.
Yeah, well, that's a shot we haven't seen much of Lauren today. I mean, that's a risky shot to play at that stage of the game, isn't it? Fortune favours the brave, as they say.
Taking that.
Yep. That'll get Sheridan back on the board now.
1 game to 1.3.
Still a point down on the serve. Sheridan's taking a lot of time to sort of prepare herself. Right back up against the back fence there, trying to gather her thoughts. Yeah, again, that slice back and came up short again. Yeah, some worrying signs there, I think, for Sheridan here. Worried signs for Alexander Park, I think. Lauren's looking quite strong. 4-1 up. Got another break point against serve.
I spoke about conditioning, and we're seeing it right here. Lauren's probably got the better conditioning at this stage of the
Yeah, I don't
match.
think there's any doubt about that, Brett, I don't think. Certainly where the energy is.
Oh, you don't mind the running forehand down the line from Currie.
And the Djokovic split.
Yeah, very athletic. 4.2, change of ends.
Well, I don't know how she managed to weave that, thread that down the line there. Wasn't much room there. Lauren had come in behind a beautiful ground stroke, covered down the line, and Sheridan still made it. So, great shot from there.
Good cross to the doubles. Closing side this second set. Zheng serving down a set and 4-5. Overplaying that serve.
So in that time that we were away, Alexander Park had broken back. Oh, I love to see that. I love to see Peyton move forward on that short ball, put the pressure on, and drew the error.
Strip across back to court number 1. Sheridan Currie serving. 4 points to 3. The Churls changed ends at 6 points. Currie serving, back on serve, mini break. Back, 3 points to 4.
In that time away, she must have played 2 great points. She was down 2, so back on serve, 3-4, second serve, backhand court. Missed the approach shot. Yep.
Down the line, just a little wide.
3-5.
Those type of errors can come back to haunt you. I mean, that one should have really been played within the margin.
Well, she
hit it within a metre of the corner of the court and just move forward and make your opponent.
Sheridan will be disappointed with that, won't she? Because she's worked really hard to get back into this match tie break.
3 points to 5. Trying to go to the little bit too often, that little dink across court. 6 points to 3. In a normal tiebreaker, should have 3 tiebreak points.
3 match points, yeah.
Given this is a super tiebreaker, it's first to 10 points. 6-3. Pushing that wide.
Oh, that was a
short.
Yeah, tight ball there. We're not seeing the same degree of movement from Sheridan on the court, are we, that we did before?
Skipping across to court number 2, we're just seeing the Alexander Park duo of S.Watson and Peyton Duckett defeat Lara, Tovich and Zheng from Cottesloe. 6-3, 6-4, giving Alexander Patten an unassailable 4 rubbers to love lead as we go to the final stages of this super tiebreaker between Lara and Nikoloski, serving closest to the camera. We get Sheridan Currie. Big serve.
Oh, big serve.
Big come on
big
too from
serve.
Lara Nikoloski. 3 points to 7. 2 mini breaks. 3 points away from closing this match out and giving Cottesloe their first victory for the day.
Must be odd number, 4-7. She's played that a lot. Oh.
7. Change of ends, 12 points.
Yep.
Change after every 6 points.
It seems to be, it's a go-to shot that Sheridan plays perhaps in all of her matches, where she hits that little slice short ball cross court, because it's worked well for her. She's won more than she's lost, but, you know...
It certainly will pay dividend on grass courts. Hard court, a little bit trickier. The ball will sit up, won't skid through, so I'll give the hard court players a little bit more time to run in through and swing from the hips.
And it's one thing that, you know, Lauren can read that short ball, but she's still got to be able to come up with a ball that's a low bouncing ball over the net and get some sort of depth on it without opening up for a pass down the line.
7 points to 5 in favour of Lara Nikoloski. Cottesloe furthest from the camp. Currie serving. Third set, super tiebreaker, first to 10 points. Just wide, catching the top end of the stick, the frame of the racket going wide. 6 points to 7.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'm just sort of seeing, we're getting to the business part of the set. I'm just sort of seeing we're seeing Sheridan not as sharp on her feet as she was at the start of the match, and got caught in really close in that forehand there. Got the ball a little bit too closer on the forehand.
Digging in. 1 mini break here in favour of Lauren. 7 points to 6, first to 10 points. 2 serves to come. Serve down the middle, ball long and wide.
Big second serve coming up here. Oh, well done.
Beautifully
Yeah, great
played,
point.
and a big come on too from Lara Nikoloski. 8 points to 6. It's a very big point on the serve of Lara Nikoloski.
You could just see then that Lauren not as comfortable at the net there. She did a great second serve, bounced up really high. Sheridan's had to return from above her shoulders. The ball landed mid-court, and Lauren, you maybe would have thought she would have volleyed that, but she stayed back. He had a great ground stroke, but obviously not as comfortable in the net as what Sheridan is.
8 points to 6. Oh, nice depth moving away from Currie. As you can see it bouncing a racket in frustration. 3 set and match points for Lara Nikoloski to give Cottesloe Tennis Club their first rubber tie win of the afternoon. 6-9.
Rubber tie win.
Wide. Second serve. Lovely
great
forehand
shot. Yeah.
into the backhand wing of Currie to close out the super tiebreaker. 10 points to 6, giving Cottesloe the all-important 1 rubber win against Alexander Park Tennis Club. Lara Nikoloski winning 3-6, 6-3, 10-6 in the super tiebreaker. Right now, the overall score for the day is 4 rubbers to 1 in favour of Alexander Park. They have won the day by virtue of getting to 4 wins throughout the day. And there's still 1 more doubles to come, and you want to play for every point, Smeds. You want to make sure that by the end of the season you've done everything you can to win every particular tie, even if the rubber is now dead, and it is, but every point that you win or every match you win, you actually get 2 additional points for the scoreboard.
Yeah, with the format, when you've got 6 rubbers, you can win and lose days on sets and games, as we've seen many, many times in the past. So any game, extra game, you win any set that you can pick up. I was very impressed the way Lauren finished that game off. She came home with a wet sail in. looked really strong, really solid, and just, you know, I think it came back to what we were talking about before. There was a level of conditioning there that probably just worked out for her, I think.
Yeah, significant win there by Lara Nikoloski. Unfortunately, Libby Mussared went down with a knee injury from Cottesloe in the number 4 singles match against Talia Edgar. So they've unfortunately had to forfeit the second set and the match. Luckily enough, they've got all players ready to play in the first singles matches. They're being waiting for that number 2 singles court.
That's just
to be filled with the doubles.
Breakfast of Champions. Oh, where's my drinker?
Covering up here with our snacks and drinks, and we welcome you back to the broadcast booth. My name is Brett Patten. This is Shane Smedley, the over 55s World Championship doubles silver medalist. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast throughout today here at Alexander Park. As I made mention, it's 4 rubbers to 1 in favour of Alexander Park, and we've got 1 more doubles remaining. It's been quite a fantastic day's play right across this afternoon here at Alexander Park, right across this State League, across all other clubs. But if we talk and focus in on today so far, Shane, what would you say some of the pivotal matches have been throughout the tie today?
Well, I thought the way Lauren fought back was something really, really good. In a young player, showed a lot of maturity there. And I've talked about it before. We've talked about it before, Katy's performance. So I've got my fingers crossed that we're going to see Katy play doubles with Sheridan. I'm not so sure. I think Sheridan looked like she was blowing a little bit there towards the end. So yeah, I'm hoping we'll see them, because they'll certainly treat the spectators here, the audience here, the Alexander Park parochial crowd here, to a quality doubles game.
I think he's still playing.
We welcome Tom George back to the commentary booth. I'll just take my rotation.
Take your chips with you too, Brett.
We welcome Tom George back as we see Shane Smedley say goodbye for this afternoon.
Shane Smedley's finished for the day?
Not for the day. You'll certainly be required. Just getting Tommy George back in to give his insights for the day. As we say goodbye and good luck, and welcome back, Tommy George.
Thank you, Brett. Good to be back.
Say thank you to Shane Smedley. It's been wonderful today. Great insights from Shane Smedley, the over 50s World Doubles Championship runner-up. You enjoyed your. Have you seen today's play, Tommy George? We got the insights from Shane Smedley. What's your take on today's play?
Yeah, fantastic day's tennis. Really highlighted right from the start of Peyton Duckett's great comeback win there from 2-5 to not lose another game. She was very impressive there, and I thought Zheng played some wonderful tennis as well, so that was really impressive. Also really impressed there with Katy O'Shea. She was really dominant there, up at 1 point, 6-love, 5-love up, and just really big serving and pure ball striking, as you said. And then probably match of the day there, which sort of a couple hundred people there watching that super tiebreak at the end between Sheridan and Lauren, and I just thought that was one of the best matches we've seen all season. Like, Sheridan was diving around out there like Jana Novotná or Boris Becker, the blood on her knees. Lauren was giving fist pumps and finding her way back in, and there's winners all round. So very high quality day's tennis, and looks like it's all wrapped up with a great win to Alexander Park.
Alexander Park have a commanding 4 rubbers to 1 lead. We were waiting on that 5th player to come and fill in for Cottesloe. Actually, no, we've been told that the day is off. There is no 5th player. So the day has been concluded here at Alexander Park in succession of unfortunate circumstances here, with Libby Mussared having to forfeit her singles and also her doubles, which has left the day at a 5-1 win to Alexander Park. Their first win here at round 5 of the Women's State League competition. Cottesloe still without a win after 5 rounds, but gee whiz, I mean, they have a great team, good depth. They've got one of the best number 1s going around in the competition at the moment, and they'll be back. They'll be ensuring that they are back ready better than they have been over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, definitely. I think they'll be right back at one of the historic clubs. So we see Lara Nikoloski waiting in the wings here to come on and
we'll
invite
her
an interview.
In. Yeah. She can stand between you and I like a rose amongst thorns. Tom George.
Have a seat, Lauren.
Lara Nikoloski, welcome to the commentary booth. Congratulations. Wonderful, wonderful match out there. It was a long match. Was it a match that you thought would go to 3 sets?
Well, honestly, you don't really expect anything. You try your best to keep it in 2 sets, but obviously that's the way the match turned out, and you have to,
Where do you think? Well, where do you think it changed? I mean, the first set, you know, Sheridan came out. It was a different style. You probably haven't faced that type of style before. There's a lot of chipping. She was moving forward. She got the jump on you, and in the start of the second set, it looked like you just regrouped and started to be a little bit more aggressive and hit your margins.
Well, as the game progressed, I started finding more rhythm and hitting around with the forehand, so dominating the court as well. And obviously, I was competing very hard throughout the whole match, the entire match. That's one of my best attributes. So, yeah.
Played well, there's no doubt about that. And let's talk about the West Australian. Nice photo of you in the West Australian. Nice article. Have you got some nice compliments on the article and the photo?
I have. I love it.
It's going viral.
Oh, good.
It's blowing up the internet, Lauren. Now, unfortunately today, we saw your captain go down, Libby Mussared, with a knee injury. You didn't have a fifth member here that you could call in, so you've had to forfeit that top doubles, unfortunately. So, do you know the prognosis of Libby?
I don't. Did she dislocate her knee at all? I don't know.
Not too sure what the prognosis. I think it might be something to do with the anterior cruciate ligament, and she'll have to get that further diagnosed.
Of course, she'll be out for a while. So
What's your depth like? No, what's your depth like at Cottesloe Tennis Club?
In which way?
In the state league. Can you get a few more players that can come up on the loss of Libby Mussared?
Potentially. They were all busy today with other commitments, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We usually come prepared with 4 players. I'm not sure about 5, but we have quite a small team compared to the other teams.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about your form across this summer. You've had a terrific summer so far. Yeah. I mean, a couple of narrow losses to Libby Fairclough and obviously Talia Gibson.
Of course, they're great players.
They are great players, but how have you assessed your form and what have you put your form down to this season?
Look, I just finished exams, so I wasn't playing much during that time. But now I've regrouped and I can't take that away from the other players, not at all. They were playing amazing, and I was as well. But
do you prefer playing on the grass surfaces? I know you're playing at Cottesloe. They do play on grass. Alexander Park obviously play on grass. Your game style almost suits hard court. Do you enjoy mixing it around and playing on the grass as well as the hard courts?
Look, you've got to be ready for anything, but I like a bit of variation with the grass court too. It's good because Cottesloe, my home club, is obviously full of grass courts, so it's. Yeah, I love grass. I've grown up on grass, but hard court as well. It's the court, you know.
It is, absolutely. Your next 12 months, you're just finishing high school, just finished high school, I believe. You'd be well sought after as far as college scouts looking to get you across to America. Have you made a decision around what the next 12 months is going to look like?
Look, I politely decline their offers, but anything can change within the years if, you know,
absolutely.
Anything can change.
Anything can change. Well, there you go. You've heard it first. Any good offer will be certainly considered. Now, next week's match, a few more. We got 6 teams in the Women's State League competition. There's 3 rounds of 15 matches, more than the men's. I mean, haven't won a match this year as far as the competition is concerned. Do you still think the back end of the year you'll start to be on a bit of a charge and start pushing for the finals?
It's hard to say. I mean, we're going to try our best. But, yeah.
That's all you can do.
We're getting. It's okay. We need to all step up.
We like that. There's confidence aplenty there. Look, we've enjoyed watching you play today. You played incredibly well. We're disappointed we're not going to see you step onto the doubles courts because of the injury with Libby. But we look forward to keeping our eye on you across the rest of the summer. And congratulations for a great win today. And we look forward to seeing more successes over the coming weeks.
Thank you so much. All right.
Lara Nikoloski saying farewell, one of the rising stars in WA women's tennis. Looking forward to seeing her continually with her good form throughout this season and throughout the summer of tennis. And we'll keep you across all the matches, right across the WA State League, as we welcome back Tommy George into the booth. Shane Smedley has signed off for the day. Hope you enjoyed Shane's coverage. Some great insight from Shane. And you're a synopsis of certainly the full day's play here at Alexander Park, Tommy George.
Well played to Alexander Park. Too good today. Very dominant right from the get-go. Highlights, Peyton Duckett's big comeback, Katy O'Shea's big win. But Cottesloe kept fighting. They did very well there with a great win for number 1, Lauren. So too good to Alexander Park and thoroughly enjoyed the day's tennis. Yeah.
Now, we're going to see you next week, Tommy George. I know you're flying out to Northern Territory just to... I think there might be a junior tournament that you're looking at. Are you going to be back broadcasting next week?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. So fingers crossed. So just still trying to work out my work schedule next week. So I really hope so. I absolutely love it. It's a great day with you and Scotty and Tomio, and thoroughly enjoyed today.
And we want to thank Tomio Yamazaki and Scotty Walsh from Scotty Walsh's Media for putting on the production. We hope you've enjoyed the forecast or the broadcast through the West Australian Live new paper feed. We'll be bringing you all the State League right across this summer of tennis. But for now, round 5, Alexander Park defeating Cottesloe. We'll see you next week.